Hey everybody. Good morning. Hey everybody. See that Hebrew right in there? That's cool. Hello, hello. Good morning, Fizzle. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. What is up? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back. Welcome in, welcome through to the kingdom of the ape. The apostate ape. The greatest of the great ape master debates coming at you once again. This is the channel where you can watch an undereducated hick from Alabama perform an intellectual takedown of the Christian faith, doctrine, and logic for your entertainment. All relations or positions. Huh? I don't know what that means, bro. Anyway. Welcome back this morning, where what we do is debate Christians up in here. Got a new headline today, and as usual, we're giving our shout outs to Dr. Joshua Bowen with his new book, Learn Ancient Hebrew, which I have been doing. You know, it'd be pretty cool to learn Hebrew, which I will. It just takes a little while. I won't know it by like next week or anything, but that's pretty tight. But you can get Dr. Joshua's Bowen on Amazon and learn Hebrew yourself, or you can get his other books, which just teach you about the Old Testament and the Bible, which is pretty awesome. That's the Atheist Handbooks to the Old Testament, volumes 1 and 2, all available on Amazon. And you can support the best friend of the channel, Dr. Joshua Bowen, yourself. Welcome through. Also, don't forget that this October 23rd, 24th, and 25th, the Rocket City Reason Conference is going down in North Alabama. Huntsville, Alabama, the biggest names in YouTube, atheist YouTubers, are going to convene in Huntsville, Alabama on the Rocket City. And it'll be pretty cool, won't it? Got a new headline up today, new background. Sort of the same old stuff, but a new background, new picture makes it look super cool. So I got my head positioned here in the right spot. That way you can see the devil down there. Anyway, today's subject, the order has moved. Number 1, Jesus fulfills zero prophecy the New Testament says he does. Number 2, God is unjust and condones slavery. Number 3, God is way more evil than Satan. All fun topics for the day, ain't they? I'm sure they are. So, let us begin the show whenever we get the first person requested up. Sometimes when I change the thing, it's a little, no, I'm not lost, thanks though. The Christians are the lost ones. That's why we're trying to talk some sense into them on this channel here. That's what I do, try to tell the folks how crazy this stuff is that they believe in and such. What we got here? All right. Suggested. Which one is this? Okay, never mind. All right. Let's get it rolling. Let's get it rolling. Give me some chocolate milk first. Hey, I'm a demon. Hey demon. Those are, okay. Well, we're trying to debate Christians, not demons. Sometimes there's not much of a difference, but we just debate Christians in here. And today is number 75 in a row. 75 days in a row. Who are you? I'm Jesse. Good to meet you. I'm the apostate ape. We just debate up in here. Well, demon. I was referring to the demon there, Minkins. It's the guy in the comments said he's the demons. I don't know if he was talking to me or him. What? You being weird, man. Do I feel like I'm making any progress? That's a good question. Making progress with the channel. I don't know about with Christians. It's quite difficult to convince somebody they're in a cult. Do I want to be saved? No, I was already been there. Been there, done that. I'm good now. I don't believe in irrational and illogical positions and beliefs. But anyway, guys, if you are a Christian and you want to come up and debate us, the queue is wide open for the day. What's that? Those guys? You'll crack me up in the comments down there. All right, so I have no idea what this is. Oh, all right. Well, let's try it.
Hello, my
Asher.
friend. Yeah,
What's up, man? You
I'm
over 18?
I'm a follower of Jesus.
You are?
Yeah,
You're a Christian.
I'm a follower of Jesus. I don't go by
So,
those names. I'm a follower of Jesus.
you're a follower of Jesus. How come I don't
Yeah,
believe you?
because you got trust issues, my friend. But I'm a follower of Jesus. What are you talking about?
No, you just sound like you're making up a voice there trying to be like a troll on
I'm
somebody's
not,
channel
bro.
right
What are
now.
you talking about? This is just my voice.
I'm just talking about how you sound. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but
If I speak in my normal accent, it's gonna be hard for you to understand me. So I'm trying to speak in this accent.
oh, okay. Well, all right. Well, hi, fruit inspector.
I greet you with the peace of Christ, brother.
Do what?
I greet you with the peace of Christ. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. You're over 18.
You hear me okay?
Yeah,
I'm not.
you're over 18. Can you hear me?
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you okay. Yeah.
Are you
Yeah. How
over
are you?
18?
Over age?
Are you over 18?
Oh, yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Are you sure you can
40.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. It's just your accent was a little bit. I wasn't prepared
Too
for your
redneck?
accent, but
I got you.
I get it. I get it. I said myself. I adapted now.
Okay, good. So you're one of the Christians?
I am a Christian.
Awesome. So which one of these topics you want to debate us on today?
Okay, it says debate a former Christian. Jesus fulfills zero prophecies, the New Testament. Okay, let's talk about the prophecies fulfilling.
Okay.
How's your I've noticed I'm new to this. I'm new, probably like a couple weeks, and I've taken in a couple of debates like this, and you know what I find? I thought it was going to be different because like when I present a good point, there's no honesty. Like I think like if I put myself in your place and I say, well, no, I don't think nothing's true. And like if somebody came and presented me with evidence, I'll be like, wow, that's true. But even though it's there, there's no honesty. They're like, no, I don't care. I don't want to hear it. Or if because as Christians, our proof is in the pudding, right? In the scripture. And so they say, no, don't even bring out your scriptures. And it's like, well, what's the point? You know what
Well,
I'm
I'm
saying?
different. I love scriptures.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you so
Yeah.
much. All right, so let's
Yeah.
talk about
So is
prophecies.
context important in these prophecies?
Everything. I mean, if it's everything, it's on. If it's honesty, man, we're gonna hear each other, and that's all. That's
Okay.
all.
Okay. So does context matter in these prophecies?
Yes, it does. Yes, of course, I think.
Okay, awesome. So does it mean an actual prophecy matter? Do you know what a prophecy is?
Yeah, I mean, as I understand it, it's like an event that happens, and it's been written long ago. Is that correct?
Well, a prophecy is, well, kind of, but most
A
of this
pretty.
has been written a long time ago. But a prophecy is when God puts his words in the mouth of a prophet and conveys information, right?
Well, yes, that too, of course, right?
All right, cool. Awesome. So, can you tell us maybe, just for example, how Jesus managed to fulfill a prophecy about being born from a virgin when there's no such prophecy anywhere in the Hebrew Bible?
that he was going to be born from a virgin.
Yeah,
Well,
you know that prophecy, don't you?
yes, I do. Yes, I do. Of course. That's the prophecy. The it's when you read in the New Testament, it refers to Isaiah. But
That's
it's
right.
funny because in the book of Isaiah, where it says the you know when it refers to the book of the Old Testament, it says that the virgin will give a sign. She will conceive a child, and then when you go to that text, it speaks about the woman getting pregnant, but it's hard to connect it, to like the context of the New Testament.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Contextually, it has nothing to do with it, does it?
Right, right. It's very
Okay. Well,
curious, isn't
sounds
it?
like you already agree with me. Jesus doesn't fulfill that one.
Well, it's funny because look, I know why he did that. I know why he did that. There's a reason why it's done like that.
Why he did what?
Why 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 God set it up like that. He set it up like that
You
because
know,
look,
God
okay,
set what up
so
like that?
the prophecy itself.
No.
Okay, because look, for instance, when you speak within Christianity, you can get 5 Christians in a room and they disagree. They have different
Yeah, but they all
interpretations.
claim they're right and they have the Holy Spirit. And,
Right, right.
pretty sad.
So 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 then what happens is like when you connect a text to prove a doctrine, when you connect the text to prove a doctrine, they'll say, well, that's no context, even though there's context. Because look, there's prophecies that I can connect that I have to complete context, right? But for there's Christians that there's other branches of
Context for
Christianity,
Jesus? Is that what you're talking about?
well, for prophecies,
How does
like,
how does Jesus fulfill this in any sort of context at all?
well, so I would have to give you that one because there's a like he did that on purpose. For that he did that
Did
on
what on
purpose for
purpose?
the way this prophecy is laid out like that is because I can give prophecies that have context, and then another Christian will say, you know what, I don't think it's enough context.
I'm just talking to you, not another Christian. So, give me what you
Okay,
think the context is.
all right. Well, I mean, this is simple. You understand, I understand it. It's about the virgin giving birth, right? When you read the text, the Old Testament text, it's kind of hard to make sense of
No,
it.
it doesn't say a virgin in the Old Testament.
Right, this is the young woman,
Right.
the young woman who
Yeah, so
gives
it's
birth.
not about a virgin giving birth to a Messiah. It has nothing to do with a Messiah or a virgin.
This is Alma, right? Alma. So
Yeah.
yeah, but the words do make sense. But okay, so look, there's a purpose for that. Okay, there's a purpose for that. But look, how about if you read Matthew 24 verse 14?
What about it?
Yeah, well, are you familiar with that text?
Yeah. It's the tribulation and the coming of the Son of Man, Matthew 24.
Matthew 24 verse 14.
Yeah, what about it? What's a prophecy being fulfilled there?
It says, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in the whole world as a witness to all nations, and then shall the end come.
Yeah, but there ain't no
That's a
prophecy in the Old Testament about a gospel being preached. The Old Testament has no clue what a gospel is.
well, yeah, there is. Okay, so well, first,
No.
okay, but look, see, okay, so look, but it's curious because just by itself, just by itself, just by itself, even if it's just one page, if it was just one page, right? And it said this page is going to be preached in the whole world as a witness to all nations, and then shall the end come. So just that it's a very bold statement, considering it was pronounced back
Yeah,
then.
but this is a prophecy. I don't feel like we're actually getting anywhere in the conversation here.
Isn't this a prophecy come true?
No.
It's being fulfilled in your ears, brother. It's being fulfilled in your ears this day.
Being fulfilled in my ears.
This day.
No, I don't think so.
Well, see
My
what I'm
ears
saying?
aren't the whole world.
Well, look, it reached you. It reached you today, okay? So and it's in fact being preached to the whole world, especially nowadays with this little
Am
gadgets
I
we
the
play
whole
with.
world?
Yes, brother, you're the world. You represent the world. You're important, and all the people who are listening. 109 people. I says right here. That's a lot of people. So
There's a
so
lot of
imagine
people.
that. Imagine each of these
Thank you
people are in
all.
different countries. They're in different countries right now. Imagine these people. There's probably, let's say there's at least 7 countries right now that are listening to us, and what I just said was fulfilled in their ears also. So it kind of went throughout the world. And so that's that by
So, can
itself.
you show us some actual prophecies that Jesus fulfills in the context of the actual prophecies from the Old Testament?
Well, I can show you to you. I can, but look, bro, like this is solid, right? That's solid. Like,
What
I just
is?
gave you a good one. You're gonna admit it,
No,
or
you
you're just
didn't.
gonna act like, or you're just gonna disregard it and say, okay, no, I'm not gonna pay
Yeah,
attention
I'm
to
just going
that.
to disregard it because you're not talking about an actual prophecy from the Old Testament.
That's a prophecy from the New Testament. Just because I can give you prophecies
Did
from
you
the
hear
Old
what I just
Testament.
said? I said Old Testament. Jesus said he came to fulfill the prophets. So I'm talking about prophets, what prophets said, not what Jesus said. We can talk about what Jesus said, but that's a different category here.
Well, okay, because look, this is it's simple. It's simple. Look, it says Christianity. Basically, your stance is that Christianity is not true, right? That's your stance. My stance is like,
Yeah.
yes, it's real. All right. So just by the proof that I'm giving you, that's pretty good punch. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like there it is.
Saying I just
Now,
heard the gospel and that's the prophecy being fulfilled about the whole world here in the gospel is not going to cut
well,
it.
I'll give you a couple more, but look, just we gotta take steps because it's clear, brother. It's clear, solid,
What?
undeniable. It's undeniable.
I hear
I
you.
mean, it
All
truly
right.
is.
Well, thanks for coming up, buddy. I don't know where that was. Yo, okay. All right. I have no idea where that was headed there or where it was going, but thanks for coming up there, buddy. You got voted out, though. Let me get a shot of chocolate milk here. We're going to move on to the next one. Yeah, good point there. Thank you for the hand hearts there. Appreciate you, buddy. I appreciate the shit out of that. Let's see what the algorithm's certainly working this morning. All right. Let's try the next one here. Judging by the names, I'm not sure these are the best well, whatever. Well, that one's gone, thank goodness. I didn't want to say the name. Bit vulgar. Micah 5:2. What does that have to do with anything? Is that a prophecy Jesus fulfills? I think not. But if you want to come up and talk about it, we certainly can. Oh boy. All right. Well, we do got some cycling through the guests here. Tony, yeah, I get that comment every single day, multiple times. Y'all pretending like you know people's pretty crazy. Oh shit. White boy, you there? Hello? Yeah, I think that was I don't know what happened there. Alright, let's go to the next one. Maybe there is no next one. Goodness gracious. Alright, well. The psychic medium in here. Anyway, the queue is empty. So if you're a Christian and you want to debate us, the queue is wide open. Come on up. We got some awesome hard-hitting topics up here. A couple of them is the usual ones, but there's a few of them we could talk about there. Anyway, if you're a Christian and you want to come up and talk us to debate with us, come on up. The queue is wide open for you. Sometimes when I change the thing, it kind of seems like it's hard on the first day. Sometimes it's not. A little rough there. Huh? The Black Messiah. I don't know what that means. Well, all right then. Well, I suppose we'll have to wait a couple minutes for the for the next one to pop up. The algorithm's certainly going. So, come on up and debate with us, guys. I agree, not a demon. No reason to think any of that mess. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, it's all going well. Awesome. Awesome, y'all. Come on in. The algorithm's flowing. If you're sitting here watching, y'all help me out. Tap that screen. I see somebody's doing that. It's kind of a redundant statement at this point. But I appreciate all the engagement, all the comments, all that good stuff. I'm not sure we've had a serious conversation yet today, so we're hoping to get one of them. Got a good crowd in this morning. Just need somebody to debate up in here. So I guess we'll have to wait a minute. Oh wait, let's say Mocha. Mocha don't want to debate us. We don't debate Mocha. Don't be silly, Mocha. No rectal prophecies right now. No, there's not. Anyway, if you're a Christian, come on in and debate us. Mocha, you're pretty pleasant to talk to, but don't tell me we cycled through all the Christians already. Deconverted them. You're going to be a crybaby when you're judged. When you're judged. Judged by the judge. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Let's see here. Mythic Realist. That sounds interesting. Mythic, you there?
Hey, yeah, what's up?
What's up, buddy? Are you over 18?
Yeah, 33.
Awesome. Are you one of the Christians?
Yeah, one of the Christians.
Cool. So which one of these topics you want to debate us on today?
Not the first one. What was the
second
what
one
about the
is
second
God
one?
is unjust and condone slavery.
Let's do the slavery one.
All right, cool. So you don't think the Bible condones slavery or God condones slavery?
I think that the Bible is what inspired the Quakers of the 1700s to abolish slavery worldwide.
Where does the Bible say anything about abolishing slavery?
It says there's neither slave nor free man or owner.
Well, it says that in the eyes of God. It doesn't say they don't exist altogether.
Yeah, and they're inspired by the way God saw things and wanted to make the world match that more.
Oh, well, how come God allows slavery in the Old Testament then?
Well, there's something called the zone of proximal development in education, where like you wouldn't teach a kindergartner trigonometry, but you work with the upper limits of their abilities. And so societies grow the same way, to where if you try to expect things from a society without proper scaffolding, it's going to end up worse than if you expected something reasonable at the upper limit of their abilities and kept progressing and making incremental progress.
What's that have to do with allowing slavery?
Well, my claim is that God uses that strategy, zone of proximal development, with societies the same way we use them with individuals. And so he doesn't expect things from societies if they don't have the proper scaffolding with pragmatic systems or the emotional ability to deal with what he expects of them. And so it's the same when Jesus talks about adultery. Says that he not condoned but allowed adultery because of the hardness.
Said don't commit adultery.
Right, but that was after.
So how come he didn't say don't own people as property?
Well, adultery meant something different for the Israelites in Moses' day than it did for Jesus, right? So Jesus was saying one man, one woman, but the Israelite law was one man, lots of women. And so what Jesus was saying there was you guys weren't ready for that. Like you were stubborn. And instead of giving up on society altogether, we worked with your upper limits and made incremental progress. And now we're at a crescendo where we're going to expect that thing that you weren't able to do before. Now you're able to do it. And that would be good. You should do that.
Oh, okay. So where does it say don't own people as slaves?
It talks about God's view as not viewing people as slaves. And it talks about doing unto others what you want them to do to you. And these are all, I mean, you could go into what scriptures.
I want to say a law that says you can't own slaves because I'm looking at a law right now that says you can.
You're looking at a law that constrains the way in which people would have already owned slaves. Like it's not like
but
it's not like
Judaism
created slavery. Like slavery was a thing everywhere, all
God
the time.
allowed it. That's the point here.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that God allowed it. I'm arguing that it would have been worse if God expected a society out of the blue with no concept, the Christian concepts that secular society has now, like empathy and free will and viewing people with respect. These are things that Judeo-Christian ethics have brought to the forefront for us, but not for societies before.
So where does it say you can't own slaves?
I'm not saying that there's an explicit command to not own slaves. I'm saying that the Bible inspired the Quakers to start a global movement that ended slavery on a legal basis for the first time. And so Christianity is the reason that
in the first place.
I tried to explain with the zone of proximal development thing.
Yeah, but it don't make no sense because God's allowing the slavery here. If God don't like something, he says don't do it, doesn't he?
Like, do you expect, so if a 2-year-old, 2 to 4, let's say, is hitting someone, we're not going to arrest them for assault. Like, you can't expect a society in the beginning stages of its development to be as sophisticated as the result of incremental progress. That just wouldn't end well if we treated things at different stages the same way. Does that make sense?
Not really. We're not talking about kids here. We're talking about adults owning other adults and children as property. This says you can sell your daughter into slavery. God permits
right. Well, what? Okay, so I'm going to try to stay on point. I was about to get sidetracked with like the definition of slavery and how things were different in antebellum slavery, which is what we imagine whenever we talk about slavery.
What's the difference?
But I'm not going to get sidetracked by that. We're going to stay on point. So give me a question again.
What's the difference between antebellum slavery and the slavery?
No, I don't want to get sidetracked with that. I feel like
we're not sidetracked. We're talking about slavery. You said there's a difference, so what's the difference?
All right, you're going to make me get sidetracked. Here we go. So antebellum slavery was pretty darn bad, right? Pretty terrible.
Yeah. All slavery is pretty darn bad.
You know what? I'd agree with you on that. But could we agree that antebellum slavery had some heinous, evil crap that goes beyond like the lower evil with a lowercase e is like evil with a capital E, you know, to where like all of societies have always
I would say the slavery in the Bible is the same though.
I feel like there's laws to, you know, treat your slave humanely, and then like the way that worked was people sold themselves into slavery as well, like in order to get out of debt. And so it was a protective practice at that time, and it was temporary. You weren't born into slavery, and you didn't die a slave.
Why is God? My concern here is why God is allowing something that's so evil.
So
this doesn't say treat your slaves humanely either. There's no difference in this and antebellum slavery.
Yeah, there's stuff in Paul's
property.
letters. There's stuff in Paul's letters about treating your slave nicely, and there's stuff in the Mosaic Law about treating slaves nicely. Yeah, there's stuff in the Mosaic Law about treating slaves nicely.
Is there?
Yeah, come on. What about the Jubilee where you let them all free after a certain amount of time?
Male Israelite slaves.
What's that?
That's male Israelite slaves. That's it.
So you're saying that there's slaves that didn't get released by the Jubilee?
Yeah, everybody else but male Israelites. The female Israelites didn't even get to go out as the males do.
Oh, I didn't know that. I apologize. Yeah, there were constraints on how. I mean, do you not agree that there were constraints on how Israelites kept their slaves? There's like 0 laws in the Bible about treating your slaves, how not to treat your slaves.
It says you can't beat them so badly that they die within a couple of days.
Well, there's a constraint. I mean, there you go. I mean, I would say antebellum slavery beat people badly so that they died in a few days.
Do you think that's a good, like, redemptive quality about this? You can own people as property, but you can't beat them so badly that they die within a couple days.
I don't think it's a good policy to keep forever, and I don't think that it was ever a righteous policy according to God's standard. But I think that to expect higher of societies before they were ready would have ended worse. I think that if you were to demand the same systems and the same ethics of a sophisticated society with generations of dialogue and of working in order to get ready for those things, and you expect the same thing from other societies that have barely started, then that would end badly.
These laws weren't for other societies. This is what God
They're for an
wanted from the
infantile
Israelites.
Society.
They're not infantile. By the time
the
these
Israelites
laws came
were
around,
a brand
they'd
new
been around for
society.
quite a while.
The Israelites were a brand new society.
What?
They just left Egypt. And the ancient Near East was not a cuddly place. Ancient Near East was not a cuddly, ethical place, dude. They were there.
God isn't ethical either. Does God allow things that God doesn't like?
I'm making a case for it being a worse scenario if he didn't allow things that he didn't like. Imagine how many people would be alive if he didn't allow people to do things he didn't like. 0.
So you're saying God does allow people to do things?
Yeah, and it's a good thing because we're alive. I like life.
So you're saying God doesn't like slavery, he just allows it just because?
Not just because, but for sophisticated reasons that I've partially laid out. But he does allow it.
Doesn't allow people to wear mixed fabrics?
Yeah, that had a very symbolic purpose to train people. You know, when you're doing things with your body.
So is slavery like symbolic to God?
No, my claim isn't that he thought slavery was good because of symbolic reasons. That's not my claim. But my claim is that the not mixing fabrics wasn't just random. That had something to do with the symbolism of staying pure. And so there are things that you do with your body that map onto your prefrontal cortex, onto your abstract thinking. And so thinking of practices and rituals as completely separate from rational thinking is something that's a little bit outdated, because we're finding out that the parts of our brain that are responsible for physical mobility actually affect our critical thinking and our abstract thinking. So whenever religions all over the world have rituals with their bodies, it's not just random weirdo stuff. It's like actually helping them to think better. And so that's why societies have always done that, and why it would be a mistake
So
to get
slavery
rid of.
was good for them back then. Like it helped them because they were a new society.
No, that's not my claim. I'm not saying it was morally good. I'm
I
saying
feel
that
like you're defending it, but you don't actually think it's a good thing.
I am not defending it as a moral good. I'm
So why don't you
defending
just say you condemn it and God allowed evil things to take place?
allowing something is not the same as saying it's good. Allowing a
Just
child,
condoning it.
allowing a 2-year-old to hit without arresting them is not saying hitting is good. It's saying that the 2-year-old is not capable.
Well, it's certainly not saying don't do it because it's bad. Don't ever do it. Never.
Yeah, in that analogy, you would go ahead and remind
Well, I mean,
them,
it sounds
hey,
more like
that's
you
not good.
agree with me than disagree. Like, if God don't like something,
To
He's
some
gonna
extent,
allow it.
I
So God
to some
clearly,
extent I agree with you that slavery is
clearly
bad.
doesn't bother God enough for Him to say, "Don't do this."
And so I think that Christians agree with you that slavery is bad, and that's why we live in a world largely that illegalizes slavery, is
Yeah,
because
but
of the
not because of
Quakers
the
of the
Bible.
1700s.
Yeah, but
So
it don't have nothing to do with the
Christianity
Bible.
was the one that helped the world climb out of slavery.
It's the one that helped put them in it, though,
No, it
because it
already
allows it. There's
existed all
people
over.
right now that use the Bible to try to justify slavery. Jefferson Davis, the
Right,
president of
there's
the
stupid
Confederacy in
people.
the United States, used the. Well, it says it. It's not stupid to use the Bible when it permits it.
It's stupid to misrepresent the claims of the Bible because
It's
you're
not
taking your first.
misrepresenting it. It says you can own people as
No,
property.
no.
You can
First
sell your daughter
impressions.
into slavery.
That's why people should like listen to theologians and like have some sort of tradition, because whenever you're going off of your first impressions of things, you can get all sorts of things wrong very quickly. I gotta go, but this has been nice. Appreciate you. Thanks for having me on.
No problem, buddy. Have a good one. I'll drop you back there. Oh, yeah, oh boy. Oh, man, oh man. They thank you, Patrina. Good morning. Yeah, that was yeah, thank you, Blue Cajun. Oh boy. They really make it compelling there sometimes, don't they? So God had to allow slavery because they were like they were like too new of a culture to say don't do that. Like, I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Thank you, Error. You the man, dog. Appreciate you. Y'all tap that screen for me. Throw some comments up in here. If you got some gifting, now's a good time to do it. The queue is empty again. People's piling into it though, so that's awesome. Let's see, it's been 38 minutes. There's already 1,200 people came through, so the algorithm is flowing, y'all. And Error, I appreciate the shit out of you, buddy. IK, thank you so much. I love that little dog. That's awesome. Wish I knew the names better. Guys, thank you so much for the engagement here, the screen taps and all that. If you are a Christian, the queue is again wide open. It keeps filling up, and then by the time I actually get somebody. Yeah, exactly. You just say don't do it. If you don't, if God don't like it, He says don't do it. So how can you say God don't like it if He says you can do it? It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy, y'all. Pretty crazy. Glad the slavery thing came up though. This is one of the bigger slavery. Is slavery and manifest destiny type shit. Divine command theory. This is the most dangerous functions of this ideology here, is that stuff like that becomes okay. And these are far closer to us than they should be in 2026. Far too close. When people start openly saying this shit in public again, you're heading a real bad direction. And that's why these issues need to be brought to the forefront of how disgusting this book and this God of this book is. So, if you're a Christian and you think you can do a better job of defending that or condemning that, hopefully, than the previous folks have done here, then please do. We need to hear something a little more refreshing, maybe some redemptive qualities here. It'd be cool. Smashing idols, that sounds good. All right. Smashing idols, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah. You're over 18?
Oh, yeah. I'm 72. I think I passed.
Oh, so are you one of the Christians?
Yes.
Awesome. So which one of these topics you want to debate us on today?
Well, I'm not want to debate. I wanted to add to what I just got through hearing a little bit of it. I didn't catch a lot of that. I was actually getting you all confused. I thought the guy that was talking, I thought he was you and you were him, and then I realized after he left who was who. But anyway,
Yeah.
I wanted to say, and I'd already put in the text that the time has come, like Paul said, people would not endure sound doctrine, so they heap to themselves false teachers to tickle their itching ears, and they turn away their ears from hearing the truth, and they turn to fables. There's all kinds of fables that people are turning to. Scripture says it. Was it second or First Timothy 4? Yeah, it says, "Spirit speaks expressly that in the latter times some will depart from the faith by giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. Those people speak lies and hypocrisy. They have their conscience seared with a hot iron." That's just a few scriptures. There's one in Jeremiah that I really embrace a lot, where it says, they say still to them that despise me, you will have peace, and to those who walk after the imagination of their own heart, no evil is going to come upon you. God is not pleased with people that say that, but that's what you hear in a lot of churches today. That's all I had to offer for now.
All right. Is that it?
Yeah.
All righty. Well, appreciate whatever that was. Oops. That was something there. Bring up Miss Patrina here. What's up, Miss Patrina?
Good morning.
Oh, you got that sound.
You try to teach that guest what that actually meant, but he left.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I guess that's all he had to. Not much to say there. Just a little, tidbit from the man known as Paul. Challenger, you there?
Yeah,
Challenger?
bro. How are you?
Oh, doing good. Are you over 18?
I'm okay.
Are you over 18?
Yeah. Over 50.
Cool. Are you one of the Christians?
Yeah, I'm a Christian.
Cool. So which one of these topics did you want to debate us on today, buddy?
First challenge I'm a challenger. I love challenging positions. I want to first challenge the position that you were a former Christian.
That what?
Were you? Were you a former Christian?
Yeah.
Okay. So how far did you go in your Christian journey?
To level 10.
Which is?
The 10th one.
Did you get to the heavenly Jerusalem?
Yeah, that's well, I think that's level 11. I got to level 10. I was like at the steps of heaven in Jerusalem. Yeah.
Okay, you didn't get to heavenly Jerusalem, and you turned back.
Yeah, so do you got one of these topics you want to debate us on, or?
So would you consider yourself a failure that you did not get to the destination?
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Okay, no problem. You admit you are a failure, so no problem. In that case, you
Yeah,
fail in
so do you
every
got
other
one of
thing
these
you want me
topics
to
you want
prove
to
for you
debate us
here
on or
because you
not?
will not understand anything.
Oh, okay. Alrighty.
I
Have a
don't
good one
debate. I
then,
only
buddy.
prove that you are a failure.
That was
You will
a
not
great
understand
challenge.
anything, bro.
I was very challenged there. Level 10 was a challenge, I have to say.
Oh my gosh, I was laughing. I had to mute my microphone. Well, level 10 was perfect.
I don't even know what he was talking. Level 10 was a hard level. All right. That was a great challenge there, buddy. You lived up to your name.
What's up?
Hey, Saul, are you there?
Good, and you?
Doing good. Are you over 18?
Am I what?
Are you over 18?
Yes, I'm 24. 2001, March 26.
Oh, well, thank you. So, are you one of the Christians?
I would say I'm agnostic, and I'm trying to find the truth. After talking with you, I realized that it's
Hey,
not as
you're gonna have
likely
to go
that.
to somewhere that's a little bit quieter, man. We're hearing like 5
Okay, I'm
different
gonna come
people
back
talking.
later, okay?
All right. I couldn't hear. I was hearing way too many voices going on there. Oh my goodness. Oh, that would have been a good question. Which level did you make it to?
You
That would
guys,
have been a great question.
speaking of levels, we only have level 5 for shares. So can we get some more shares and some reposts?
Yes. Yes, more shares and reposts, please. We need to get to level 10 on reposts. All right, well, let's try the next one here. Rad Ventures, you there?
I'm here. Has gone 41 years old.
Awesome. Are you one of the Christians?
Yeah, level 11.
Level 11 Christian. That's a pretty high level.
I can help you get there
Awesome.
if you want.
Oh, I'm good on that. But if you want to debate us on one of these topics, we'll do that.
All right, let's see. Well, I mean, obviously, I'd want to know like kind of your background, but I'm sure you don't want to go into all that. Zero Prophecies says does two. I'm not too interested in any of those topics. I would say the stuff that I'm not kind of interested in. We point out a lot of bad things within Christianity, but I feel like it's important to point out good things, like just some biblical principles that are beneficial to humans. What do you think?
Like you can own slaves?
Well, that's pointing at the bad stuff, like I said. What if we pointed out some good stuff, like biblical?
Why would I
principles?
point at good stuff when your book says stuff like this?
I mean, it's not necessarily prescriptive, like you should do this. It's like if you find yourself in this situation, this would be the least bad thing to do. That's more of a prescription.
You find yourself in the position where you can own slaves, this is how you should do it?
I mean, I'm trying to be honest here, and if we're going to be honest, we need to look at the good and the bad, right?
Well, the good is overshadowed by the multitudes of bad.
And that's I feel like
we're not going to listen to Schmittler, who killed 6 million people, and say, hey, he built 100 churches, so that's great. So we'll get over the 6 million people he unalived.
I would say there's certain people that were born in this country or born anywhere in this world. They've lived a good life. They've held to some of these Christian values. And the only thing you get to say about them is other people that had a similar belief to you, not a similar practice, not a similar outcome. You should be judged on the people that are the worst people that believe the same. Like, what if you have one belief that you believe and other people that believe it are the worst people in the world? Should you be gauged against those people that are like not necessarily reflecting what you believe or what you think or like the life you've lived? What do you think? You think that's fair?
I don't know, maybe.
Well, I mean, when we see a lot of good stuff coming out here, the amazing communities it builds, I would say the most loving people that I've come across, the most giving people, are found in the church. And does that make you feel good that these people are criticized among the worst that have I'm
criticizing the religion, not the people.
What's up?
I'm criticizing the religion, not people.
Well, what if you were to criticize the people that were living the best lives with?
Why would I? I'm not worried about that. I agree with you. Most of the Christians I know are perfectly fine. I have no issue at all with them. The issue I have is with this religion that permits slavery and genocide, and that's not good.
And we get back to, is that prescriptive or is that descriptive? Is it describing what happened?
It's allowed. It's condoned. It's permitted.
I would not say that's the case. If you really dig in the scripture,
it is the case.
Interpretation.
If it allows something immoral to continue, that's the definition of condonement.
I mean, I don't condone it. There's a lot of Christians that don't condone it.
I
would say the majority of Christians in this country
anybody's going to care if you
slavery.
condone it or not when God clearly condones it?
I mean, you're talking about stuff that's happened years ago that everybody has rejected. That I would say most good Christians today, would you say, reject slavery? So why?
Okay, what about the New Testament? What about the New Testament? It talks about women can't braid their hair, they can't wear expensive clothes or fine jewelry. They need to shut up if they have questions to ask their husbands when they get home. They got to cover their heads when they pray. That's all in the prescriptive part in the New Testament.
All right, and do you see anybody practicing that thing to the T you just described?
Yeah, because y'all don't actually keep Christianity. Y'all don't own slaves. Y'all won't let the women talk. It's like you don't even want to do what the Bible says.
Yeah, that's not what's happening in today's world. Have you been?
Well, you're not a woman. You're not a woman, so you don't know. So I didn't wear shorts for 30 years.
I mean, I go to church with women, and they're not under this oppression you're describing. So, do you want me to believe what you're saying when I see right in front of my eyes every Sunday when I go to church? This is not the case at all. I mean,
maybe not in your church. Maybe not in your church, but it is in other churches.
Okay, but you want me to believe that my church is bad just because of what you're telling me?
No, your religion is bad, not your church. Y'all aren't listening to your book or your God. You're doing your own thing.
That's why you want to put it into a religion. What if
that's why y'all are better than the book, because you don't actually do what the book tells you.
So your church cherry picks.
Well, hold on a sec. Let's talk about what the Bible describes as the most important commandment, and if my church is doing that. So the most important commandment that they said is love your neighbor as yourself, right?
That's Levitic law, yeah.
Okay. So if we're loving people around
keep
our
Levitic law, right?
I mean, I would say would you love people as yourself? Would you hold that law?
I think that's a fine rule.
That's good. I think that's the basis of our church. It's written on the wall of our church.
So do you think, since that's Levitic law, do you think you should keep Levitic law?
I think I think it's pretty obvious, and it's not too hard to figure out which laws we should keep this day and age, and which laws were like that was different back then. That was a different time, different place.
I'm talking about
not necessarily
God,
prescriptive.
not according to you.
Let me finish my idea. Not necessarily prescriptive, but descriptive. Maybe they should have written the Bible where it wasn't any sort of description going on. It just talked about all the good stuff going on, but we wouldn't learn anything, would we? If we only talked about good things, what would we have to look at and say, you know what, that was a bad time. We learned a lot from that.
God would have ruined it with just good stuff. You got to throw some slavery and stuff in there. Yeah.
So you just cherry pick what you want out of it and forget the rest?
We're not forgetting. No, that's exactly not what I'm saying here. It's like, hey, we learned from these dark times. I mean, if you were to write a book, would you write about the dark times within your people's story? Would you write, or would you skip over that? Would you write a description? Hey, this was a really rough time where this stuff happened.
People as property, not now, not then, not ever, is what I would write personally.
Yeah, that's fair.
So you're saying keep this Levitic law from Leviticus 19, but if we go to chapter 25, that's bad laws. Don't keep these ones, right?
Like I said earlier, I'm kind of saying this again. I mean, it's pretty obvious which ones we can, apply to this day and age, and which ones are like, you know what, that's not a good thing anymore.
What if
that's
they're
not
obvious? What if it's not even a prescription? What God allows, and they say it's okay because God allows it, even though they think it's bad.
I may be wrong, but this is the point I kind of want to make. I mean, show me in the Bible where it's like every person should own slaves or every person should do this. It says every person should love their neighbor as themselves. Why can't we talk about that? Or why can't we talk about how God is love? Or let's talk about the fruits of the Spirit.
But it's kind of messed up when you read in this chapter, hey, we should definitely do this. This one's obvious. And then you go to the next chapter and you're like, no, this is really bad. Like you're doing what the average Christian does. You're picking and choosing which part of the Bible you want to follow, based on your subjective, whatever y'all thinks.
I mean, would you say it's hard to decipher what is good and what is not? I mean, the God gave us a brain to think here. I mean, are you going to use it and say, you know what, this is actually a good idea? You know what, this is not necessarily a prescription for all the people.
If you had a brain,
Yeah.
you would know none of it is for you. None of it is
None of it.
about
Like
you,
loving
and
your
none of it
neighbor?
is to you.
Hold on a second. Let me
Correct.
make sure we understand. So you're saying we shouldn't love our neighbors?
No, I'm saying you
Are you
shouldn't do
saying, hold on.
anything that's in this book. You shouldn't do because it's
Okay,
not
so we
about you,
shouldn't
to you, or
forgive each
for you.
other. We shouldn't forgive each other.
No, there's some
You can
people
do
that
that
should not
without
forgive
Levitical
their
law.
their
Wow.
predators. No, they shouldn't forgive their predators.
Okay, so there are exceptions. I'll give you that. There are some exceptions, but
I'll
I
be
would
right
say,
back. Got to
should we shoot for
wait
this?
30 seconds.
I'll be good. Thanks for having me on here.
No, yeah, I mean, you can keep talking. I'm just going to be off the camera for just a second.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I mean, this is where beliefs are based on experiences and your perception. I've had decent experiences with the Christian church. I could definitely look at stuff that I didn't like. I look at a lot of stuff that I do like. The good
How long
community
have you
brings.
been? How long have you been in it?
I was born in this. I kind of went away for a while, a couple of years while I was an airline pilot. I didn't really practice religion and didn't necessarily believe it. And now the belief is complex. You know, I feel like it's kind of personal to me. It's not necessarily I believe everything that's happened in the Bible. I could go through what I actually believe, but I believe what it does is generally good for most people. I mean, there's definitely some people that take advantage of it, use it for bad reasons.
There's actually a lot of people. I don't know if you've ever been to a live stream where it has religious trauma, but there is a lot of religious trauma out here in this world that people are ignoring.
Oh, I will not ignore religious trauma. I'm sure I've heard a few stories, you know, and obviously in certain churches where there was kids that were like,
You do
kids that were
understand
affected by
churches have
this.
to take out insurance now for predators that are in the churches?
I have heard that, but can we
Yeah.
separate like good people from bad people within a religion? Or are you just going to mark them all as bad? Is that fair?
Why don't you just rewrite
Well,
the Bible and put all the good stuff in there and take out all the bad stuff?
yeah,
I mean,
there
there have
shouldn't
been some
be any
revisions.
bad. There shouldn't be any bad with it.
I mean, and that goes back to when you're writing a book that's like descriptive and prescriptive. You got to put in the stuff that we learned from, like, hey, we're not going to do this anymore because we know that's bad. You know, society's tried all these different things. So like now we know that's bad. We know this is wrong. You know.
Do you think
Yeah, so
teaching
you're saying
people?
you know God is wrong.
Do you think teaching people that they're a heathen sinner when they're born and they're disgusting, filthy, wretched people, so they need to get saved and repent constantly because they have bad thoughts in their mind and, you know, they cuss or they do this or they do that? You think that's healthy?
I could see how that could be used to the extreme. Can you see how it would not be used to the extreme? It would just be used as like
No,
a
I
little bit
don't.
more of a guide, or say,
Teaching people that when they're born, they're a filthy, disgusting, heathen sinner is
I
terrible.
don't think they've used those words exactly. That's probably an exaggeration of the way you interpret it.
It's not.
Okay.
No.
Well, I can tell you like a version straight out of the Bible that was kind of says what you're saying, but not exactly what you're saying. I mean, you're really taking it to the extreme there, I think.
No, when you tell somebody that they're bad and evil by just being born and they need a savior to save them or they're bound for hell, it's not something good to teach people.
What would you think would be a better thing to teach people?
That they're a beautiful person, that they have they can make some goals for themselves and they can be successful if they put their mind to it. Positive things is what I would
And
enforce,
I think
not negative.
I could find things that said exactly what you just said within the Bible. So it's a
But
pretty
you know
good
what
doctrine thing,
the
right?
most powerful thing is that's being taught from this book?
The
Fear.
most
That's the most
powerful thing.
powerful thing that's
They
being taught
teach
from this book
fear?
is fear.
Wait,
Yes.
what if I told you there's 300 times in the Bible, probably more than that, that it says fear not? Would you say that what you just said was a little bit misleading?
That's not what's
What if I
taught
told you
though.
there were 600 times it says fear a lot?
Yes.
Fear a lot? Really? You know, this is
Yeah.
interesting. I think we need to start a little Bible
The
Yeah, it
study.
kind of
beginning
says the
of
beginning
wisdom
of
is fear.
wisdom is fear of the
Yeah.
Lord.
Okay, but it also says fear not a few times, right?
Sure.
Yeah, but that's not what's being taught. The
I mean, it's
majority
been
that's
taught to
being
me.
taught is the fear.
It's been taught to me. Someone told me over 300 times it says fear not in the Bible. It's part of my mission statement to help remove fear from people. So this is a product of someone that's been going to church. That I feel like I go to a church that is pretty filled with a lot of pretty awesome people. And I'm sure there's some churches out there that don't have the same thing I do, but
I think that's the reflection that's on you. So different people read this book and they get different things out of it. So someone that's a very judgmental, condemning person will get all the wrath and judgment out of this book and press that upon others. So evidently you're a very kind person, loving person, and you see all these things in this book, and that's what you press on others. But the majority of the people that read this book have the judging and condemning that they see in it. Not so much the love.
I would change your statement to people you've experienced. If you're coming on this app and like judging, Christians based on people who come on here not loving, I wouldn't be surprised you came to the conclusions you have. But if you encountered and this goes back to what I think, your beliefs are based on your experience versus your perception. Combination of experience and perception. So what if you experienced a whole bunch of really loving Christians, a whole bunch of people that were like the kindest people? You know what? How can I be mean to these people? How can I judge them? If you have experienced the best of the best, do you think you'd have a different belief? Honestly,
I've already told you, I think Christians are fine. They're some of the best peoples I know. It's the ones that's not, and it's the danger that looms from this book, the divine command theory. That's the danger here. It's Christianity, not the Christians.
Well, there we go. Maybe you're doing God's work and we're working on a good team together. You're saying good Christians are awesome, you enjoy them, and you're saying bad Christians are bad. I don't necessarily disagree with that.
Yeah, me neither. So you disagree with God, though, when He allows slavery. You're saying God's awful for this.
I would like to look up those verses. I've heard a lot about it. And I would say a lot of these things they're descriptive, not prescriptive. I don't think it ever says in the Bible, correct me if I'm wrong.
It's prescribing that you can sell your daughter into slavery.
Yeah, this is why it's curious to me. Normally when people say things like it's descriptive, they're referring to things like Judges 19, right? Where the priest does something pretty horrific to his concubine. And so, if somebody were to say, look at this horrific thing, God is allowing this or condoning this or whatever, then I think, it might be more appropriate to say, well, that's narrating a story. It's not God saying this is what you should do. The problem is the passages that they're talking about here are in the law, right? So one of the passages, Leviticus 25, 44 to 46, I mean, it says it quite explicitly. If you want slaves, they're to come from the nations around you, right? They'll be your property. You'll pass them on as inheritance to your children. You can make them serve as slaves for life. So I guess I don't understand why you would think that's descriptive and not prescriptive.
That's a good question. I would like to see that exact passage. A lot of stuff from the Old Testament I don't think is like the stuff that we need to be teaching people today. It's more of like a crazy time back then, how they dealt with it, right? Now it's like love your neighbor as yourself. Could you say you're loving your neighbor as yourself if you're taking them as a slave?
So that's where I think
I think easy stuff to pick apart if you have a mind that's like, okay, this was wrong, this was right.
Yeah, so this was the other thing. This is actually the reason that I came up. You seem to think that it is very clear-cut and easy to ascertain what you should be listening to and what you shouldn't be in the biblical text. And I'm just curious what your methodology is for that.
I would say what good Christians are talking about today. I mean, it's pretty easy to go online and type in who your favorite pastor is, what they're talking about. Find me one person that's like, oh, go do this slavery thing. It seems all you guys talk about.
Doug Wilson and the entirety of his churches. Yeah, that's what they're doing.
And you're saying he's a good pastor.
Quite a few.
That qualifies a good pastor.
It's biblically accurate.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're just naive.
Are you telling me Doug Wilson is supporting slavery?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? That's troubling to me. And you're saying he's a good pastor?
I'm saying he's a despicable human being.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Finding
but
good
that's not relevant. So listen,
no.
listen.
You just
Good,
like
no, sir.
go
Good
ahead.
by your definition, right?
Okay. Well,
That's why
what
I'm
would you
asking what
say
your
if someone
methodology.
is good by
Yeah,
your
that's
definition,
why
and
I'm
what are they
asking.
saying?
I'm asking what your methodology is. So it doesn't sound like you rely on the biblical text at all. You just go with what you believe to be right.
That's part of my belief I don't share too often. I think the Bible is a book that's been passed on from generation to generation. It's been, some books have been taken out, some books have been put it in. But when it boils down to it, it's actually not a bad guide of what happened in our past, the bad stuff that's happened in, the Christianity's or Christian Jews past, and the stuff that we're doing today. The guide that we use a lot of times is actually pretty sound advice. Like some of the biblical principles, like talk about a big biblical principle that you don't think is good.
I talk about one that you think is
Slavery.
novel to the Hebrew Bible.
What's up?
Yeah, can you talk about a principle that you think is novel in the Hebrew Bible?
A principle that is novel in the Hebrew Bible. You're talking about like the Old Testament, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Something that's novel in the Hebrew Bible. Sometimes it's just a story. All the men or all the people they describe in the Old Testament. Sometimes it's like, hey, we could learn something from his. We learned from David to not fall into lust, how dangerous that could be, and all the ramifications of that. Is that something you would say to like a young
my
man
gosh.
growing up? Don't fall into lust. Don't do this to your next door neighbor. Love
Yeah,
your
but
neighbor.
but that has nothing to do with that's not novel to the Hebrew Bible.
You know what I learned from that story? That if my husband does fall into lust, I will be punished for what he does.
And that's not really a prescription, it's a description. It's not like you should go do this. It's like, hey, this is what happened, this is what we can learn from it. Have you ever heard a bad story about someone, like, you know what, not gonna make that mistake? Don't you think that's what the Bible is really intending to do?
But the God of this story punishes the innocent for the guilty.
I would like to know exactly how that happened. Go ahead.
What?
I want to go look up what exactly you're talking about.
Do you know the story?
So he punished. You're
Yeah,
saying
David and Bathsheba. Do you know the story?
David and Bathsheba, yes.
Okay, so who got punished?
I don't think he knows the story.
I would say it's a descriptive story describing what the bad stuff that has happened.
Who got punished? Who got punished?
I would say everybody involved got punished. The husband of Bathsheba got sent out on the front lines.
How were
that
the
wasn't
wives?
A punishment to him. That wasn't a punishment to you.
I don't know if
how
it was
were the
a
wives and the
punishment
baby
or
involved?
a result. I don't say it's a punishment. I'd say it's a result.
Okay, let me
of
be
bad
more
actions.
precise. Let me be more precise. What did Yahweh do as a result of what David did?
And they're saying that Yahweh did this?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to look that up, or you could tell me. One's going to take longer.
He unalives the child of David and Bathsheba, makes the child very ill. It suffers for 7 days and then unalives.
And grapes in public all of his wives.
Who? Who raped all his wives?
Absalom.
Yahweh commanded that it be done.
Yahweh commanded what be done?
That 10 of David's wives be raped in the sight of all Israel in broad daylight.
That is an interesting story, and definitely seems more descriptive, like a bad thing that happened.
I knew you were about to say that.
Yeah,
it's not hard to pick apart these arguments if you look at things descriptive versus prescriptive.
Let's talk about I don't think this is. I don't think this is the flex you think it is. So if it's describing what Yahweh does, how does that help you?
And let's put this into context as well. Like I said, my personal beliefs on the Bible, I look for truth. I look for good things. Not necessarily look for what is right, but what is good. But yeah, this story that you're telling me, this story, who is it written by?
Oh, we don't know.
I think we do. I got a whole book.
Yeah, I can tell you that we don't.
I guess we don't know for sure. That's a point. But would you say it was written by a man?
Yes, sure.
Would you say that man knew exactly what God was doing? Or he's like, hey, maybe God had this happen?
I think these are
Doesn't
written
matter.
by
He still
human
wrote the
beings.
story.
Right. Would you say any human beings wrote down some good things within the Bible that could be applied to everyday life that are actually beneficial?
Sure, you can see that in the Epic of Gilgamesh as
There we go.
well.
Okay, good. So you're saying the Bible has some good stuff in it, right?
So you're saying that you don't think there's much of a difference between the Bible and the Epic of Gilgamesh?
I think people, for some reason, wanted to pass the Bible down from generation to generation because there's enough good stuff in there to make it better than the Gilgamesh, whatever you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's why the Hebrew Bible or the biblical text made its way down through
Yeah,
history.
exactly.
Okay. Well, what do we have to gain from Gilgamesh?
Have you read it?
I've seen.
It's one of the best stories in history.
All right, you know what? Let's chat GPT find the best things from this Gilgamesh story.
Yeah, ChatGPT. That's.
I mean,
that tells me a lot.
how do you want me to do it? Why not?
That's taken for an awful lot of Christians these days. It's
It
crazy.
really is.
What's
So, I mean, look, the reality here, the important bit here, I think, is that you don't seem to base your morality on the biblical text, which I applaud you for that. I think that's great. But it seems like you're in defense of the biblical text. So if, when Abe pointed out that there are laws about slavery, you seem to not just take that, you wanted to push back on that and say no. So I'm curious as to why. Why would you push back on that?
I think I made it pretty clear why, because some things are describing what's going on. It's written by a man. There could have been some mistakes. It was telling a story the way they interpreted it to teach us something. But
right, but then based on what you just said, you would expect there to be laws about slavery in there then.
I would expect there to be laws about slavery within the Bible. What are you getting at now?
What you just said is it's written by man. There could be mistakes, right? In that circumstance, if that's true, then it would be unsurprising if there were things about owning other people as property in there.
Okay.
So why would you push back on that idea? Like, why does it surprise you that there are laws about how to own slaves?
I wouldn't say I'm pushing back. I was saying, like, hey, this was written. It's probably, I don't know if they're based on a real story, a fake story. I think they could be based on a real story. I think anything after the flood of Noah, there's a lot of real stories in there. I mean, they got passed down from time to time. Maybe it was just a really good story that highlighted some really important things that a group of people read and passed down to the next generation. We got all the way to this point where there's been a whole bunch of scriptures added by a whole bunch of different people that kind of point to a certain central God figure, right? But I feel like the good stuff that they put out in there is often underrepresented on your channel here, because I think there is a lot of good stuff. There's some stuff, if you apply to your life, you have a good group of people that have like similar morals to this, not getting like way back into the Old Testament where it's more descriptive, but the stuff that we learned today.
You got to stop saying that, right? Let me ask you a question.
Oh shit, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah, you got to just stop, because it's not carrying the weight you think it is. Let me ask you: do you think that Yahweh handed Moses laws down on Mount Sinai? Do you think that Yahweh gave the Israelites these 613 commandments?
You're asking me something that happened really long ago, and this is where it comes down to. I think being authentic is more important than anything. I don't know that. I know that a lot of people do believe that, and sometimes when people do believe something like this, it leads to better outcomes for some people when they get into this mindset to love their neighbor as themselves, like some of the most important biblical principles.
So you think that's an important one? You think that it's like it's clear cut.
Love your neighbor as yourself.
Yeah, that's one that you think is just self-evident.
I think it's a way to spread love in the world, because we need more love in this world. What if?
Okay,
what
so
if
that's listen.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, let me just. It's fine. So that's in Leviticus 19, right?
It was repeated later, right?
Sure, but it comes from Leviticus 19. Yeah, so here, verse 33, right? When a foreigner resides among you, this is Leviticus 19, 33 and 34, resides among you in your land, do not mistreat them. The foreigner residing among you must be treated as your native born. Love them as yourself, for you were foreigners in Egypt. I am the Lord your God. So you think that's a good one, right?
Loving your neighbor as yourself is the overall goal. I would say that's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So in this same chapter, we have things like do not make different kinds of animals. Do not plant your field with two kinds of seeds. Do not wear clothing woven of two kinds of material. If a man sleeps with a female slave who is promised to another man, but who has not been ransomed or given her freedom, there must be due punishment. Yet they are not to be put to death because she has not been freed. The man, however, must bring a ram to the entrance of the tent of meeting for a guilt offering to the Lord. With the ram of the guilt offering, the priest is to make atonement for him before the Lord for the sin he has committed, and his sin will be forgiven. So that was verses 19 to 22. So 11 verses earlier from the verse that you think is
All right. If
seems
you're
like it's
looking for,
timeless.
yeah, I hear you. If you're looking for authenticity within this book of Leviticus, would you want to know what the law was back then? Or would you want them to skip past that and say, you know what, we don't believe that anymore. We're just going to say no slavery. What do you think is more authentic?
I don't understand your question. I'm asking
Yeah.
you what your
Let me
methodology is.
rephrase the question.
No,
This is an
because
important question. You don't
my
understand my
question was
question? Let me re-ask the
my
question
question
so
was
you
the one
understand it.
that my
Good.
question is the one that was asked first. So
Okay.
I want to know what your methodology is for saying yes, we should do verse 33 and 34. Yes, that's but not 18 to 22.
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious in a normal human adult's brain that has seen enough in this world to decipher what is good and what is bad. Loving
Great.
your neighbor as yourself, that's good, right?
Well, but you're basing that on what?
I'm basing that on like believing that people will rise to a certain amount of intellect where they can decipher like somewhat good from bad, right?
Great. So you're doing exactly what every atheist does with ancient texts.
Okay. How so?
Well, because we look at these things and we do the rake and shovel, right? That's what you're describing. We have a modern sense of morality and we say, yeah, okay, here it says don't lie. That's a good one. Don't deceive one another. That's a good one. Own slaves. We know today that's not a good one, right? Since it's exactly what you do with the Epic of Gilgamesh or with the Tukulti Ninurta epic or, any of the laws of Hammurabi, you're going to do the exact same thing.
All right. I want to get back to my question. I think is a really important one that will keep this conversation on track. Did I accurately or did I answer your question well enough?
I mean, do you agree with me that you're not doing it based on the text? You're doing it based on your modern sensibilities?
I think there's a lot of smart people that have talked about this exact text you're talking about. You haven't looked up what they wrote about it. I'm not a theologian or anything, but I could tell you exactly what they thought of with a quick Google search. But I don't.
No, you couldn't with a quick Google search. No, you couldn't.
Okay. Well, tell me the verse. I'll look it up and what do the modern day theologians or what do theologians throughout time talk about with this passage?
Well, you're
what should we take from it?
You're actually speaking with a scholar right now, just so you're aware.
I'm glad I am. I enjoy talking to smart
scholar.
people.
Yeah, when you use your chat GPT, it's going to bring up what he thinks.
Okay. I hope so. I mean, maybe I don't hope so, but I'm all about proving myself wrong here. Right now, the thing I want to prove wrong is that there's good stuff in the Bible that if we applied to society, our society would be
Nobody's
a little bit
disagreeing with you, man. Nobody thinks loving your neighbor's a bad thing. We're not arguing that there's not some good little tidbits in the Bible. It's the overbearing stuff that's horrible that blows us away.
It's the methodology for how you determine, how anyone would determine we should do X and not Y.
Okay.
Because what you're describing is a very progressive form of Christianity, a very liberal form of Christianity.
Is that bad?
Where the text is like a secondary thing.
Not to us. We're grateful for you, actually. But
yeah, definitely. I wish every Christian were like you.
The other things that I kind of stick to is the fruits of the Spirit. One of the things I'm still trying to throw out there a little bit or just test the waters with is that I think there's stuff that exists outside our physical world. I know that's hard for a lot of people to believe. And what if it's just an emotion? What if God is love, like they describe in the Bible, and loving somebody else is the way that God is within you? Like if you have all this love within you, all this, maybe say God within you, and you're able to love other people, I think that that's where God exists. What do you think? Or would that be a better way to look at how God exists versus the other stuff in the Bible? Like if you believe God exists within inside you and you're able to love people more, I think that's a good way to be, right? They say God is love. What if God is just an emotion? What if God is just a collective conscious of people that do good things around the world? You know, it's hard to say that's a bad idea, isn't it? Anyway.
I mean, you don't need that idea.
And that's where a lot of these debates go to. Well, you don't need that. I'm like, of course you don't need that, but I mean, we've been seeing a lot of great things that come from this. Should we try to bat that down, or should we try to like keep that under control so not as much good things happen? I wanted to address this
That's the whole
text you're
point
talking
of these
about.
debates is we're trying to get the good stuff and get rid of the bad stuff. But to get rid of
There
the
we
bad
go.
stuff, you have to throw this whole book in the garbage, or either just rewrite it.
Oh man, Rick, thank you for the generosity. I appreciate that. Let me type into Chat GPT here the Leviticus one. And I want to see what modern day theologians say about it.
What are you wondering what they say about it?
I mean, because I don't always have all the best answers for this, but we've talked about these things for years. Are you willing to consider what the best people have said about this passage over the years? I mean, you said you're pretty up there scholarly, right? You'd want to know what the strongest arguments are.
Yeah, I'm writing a commentary on Leviticus at the moment, so
that's awesome. Good for you, man.
Yeah, so I guess the point in me saying that is I'm well aware of what academics say about this passage.
That's awesome, man. I'm happy for you. Hopefully, you find some good stuff that'll make this world a better place in the end. And I think that's.
Do you want to know why? Because I feel like that was your problem, right? When you came up, like, why do you talk about the bad things?
Okay.
There was a debate, right? There was a debate that took place, I think, a week ago, maybe not even, between two what I believe are Christian YT nationalists and like two just standard Christian apologists. And the topic was, should interracial marriage be considered sin? And in the debate, which I did not watch the entirety of because there's only so much of that I can stomach, the topic of slavery came up. And the YT nationalists were doing proper exegesis of the passage in Leviticus 25. And the apologists on the other side were taking a liberal approach to the text and saying, no, everybody's in the image of God. And so like we should read freedom into that. It's a very liberal, progressive approach. So the reason that I think Apostate does this live every day, and certainly the reason that I come on and engage, is because there are so many people in evangelical or more fundamentalist circles of Christianity, which are unfortunately having a tremendous impact in the country in which we live, that are utilizing this text as a moral standard for their lives, which leads people like Doug Wilson and his sycophants to say things like, slavery is not inherently immoral. You just have to do it right. That's why we do this.
Well, I'm doing a little research on this stuff right now. It's saying some great stuff. Like here is, first off, what Leviticus.
So you didn't hear anything I said?
What's up?
Just now? You didn't hear anything I said just now?
No, I heard what you said. I was reading while you were saying that. It's not stuff that's like, revolutionary.
What did I say?
I mean, I'm not going to say word for word what you said, but you were talking
I'm not
about
asking you word for
how
word.
you're writing a book about Leviticus, how this.
Yeah, that's not what I said at all.
Well, no, let me finish. I mean, I said like 5 words, and you said that's not. I mean, you said a lot of stuff.
Well, you talked about things that I said 5 minutes ago.
Well, I was getting to the stuff you're saying now, but you're saying like a group of apologists are talking about eisegesis, exegesis, and that the Christians were behaving more like liberals, where they were looking through. I get it. There's
you didn't say anything that I just said.
All right, go ahead and sum up what you said.
No,
So,
I'm not a fucking tape
all
recorder.
right, fair enough. I wanted to get to this
Yeah.
earlier. Here's what I wanted to
Thanks
say
for the
earlier.
total disrespect. That was awesome, man.
I apologize. Here's
Do
what.
you though?
All right, here's what Leviticus is and what it is not. Leviticus is a law code for ancient Israel written to a specific covenant, Sinai, addressed to Bronze Age society where slavery already existed everywhere. It is not a universal moral manifesto, a command to create slavery, a timeless endorsement of human trafficking. This distinction matters. Would you agree with that statement?
I mean, I don't think that any of the biblical texts are like timeless things to utilize throughout human societies. So of course, but you do.
I mean, this kind of like takes your argument apart a little bit. You're
It
saying
absolutely
that,
doesn't.
Here's what you were saying earlier. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but you were saying that people can justify slavery through the book of Leviticus. Isn't that what you were saying?
It's a law from Yahweh.
It's a law.
My
from
argument
Yahweh
is
that we should
very
follow?
precise. Yeah,
I mean,
my
you
argument
could-
is very precise.
Okay.
The Hebrew Bible and the law collections therein endorsed the social institution of slavery.
I mean, it does not invent slavery, right?
Do you know what the word endorsed means?
Yeah, I would say that's another word for support.
So invention, is that a part of endorsement?
No.
Okay, so why would you say that?
I mean, I'm just reading the stuff that's in front of me here, and I'm making sure we're agreeing to certain stuff. So we agree that Leviticus does not invent slavery. You say it endorses slavery. Would you say it endorses slavery for everyone? Well, okay.
Endorsed.
Does it endorse slavery for everyone?
Do you hear the words that I'm saying?
Yeah, I said the word you were saying.
What did I say?
It seems like you're getting frustrated. I don't think you can debate.
Yeah, because you're not
getting
listening.
frustrated.
I think that'll frustrate anybody in a conversation.
I think you're not saying. I'm not saying what you want me to say, and you're saying that's not listening. Let's make sure that we have a separation.
I think the things. Yeah, I think the things that you're saying that I don't want you to say are misrepresenting what I'm saying.
All right, how about you let me read this for 2 minutes and tell me what you guys think?
I'm not letting you read anything for 2 minutes, particularly not from Chat GPT.
When someone's wrong, that's exactly what they would say.
Sorry, you want me to sit here for 2 minutes while you read Chat GPT?
Would you give me a minute? Would you give me a minute? Because this stuff is good stuff. This stuff.
How on earth would you know if it's good stuff?
A lot of your arguments.
Nothing that you read thus far was good stuff.
I mean, it kind of destroyed your argument a little bit, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you think that if it gives you comfort.
Don't normally do that. Here's my point. Here's one of the main points I want to bring out. I believe we should have these discussions. I'm really glad for the host today that allows us to have these discussions, because I don't think you've seen any like good arguments on the other side. Maybe you have seen some good arguments.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, I haven't read anything about slavery in the Hebrew Bible.
Finish my thought, Josh. I haven't heard these quite arguments, but when I do go into a lot of these things and I do a little research, I find that your arguments are not as strong as you kind of make.
Yeah, go ahead, present your best argument against what you think I said.
And this is what we should go after. We should look for the best arguments on both sides, right?
Go ahead.
I go into.
So first of all, tell me what I said. First of all, tell me what I said about slavery and the laws of the Hebrew Bible.
Well, you were saying it was like a bad thing that God prescribed to everyone almost, right?
Oh my God. So you don't even sort of listen.
Okay. I mean, tell me, you're saying that God prescribed
I am saying, listen very carefully to me. Mm-hmm. The laws in the Hebrew Bible endorsed the social institution of slavery. That's my argument. Please don't get it wrong again.
Okay, so the laws of the Hebrew Bible endorse current slavery.
Endorsed, Jesus fucking Christ. ED on the end of the word endorse.
Okay, the laws of the Hebrew Bible endorsed
the social institution of slavery.
And what is your best evidence for this? You're saying Leviticus?
Exodus 21, Deuteronomy 15, Leviticus 25.
Okay. Exodus 21. What else?
Deuteronomy 15.
Anything else?
Leviticus 25.
We're about to debate Chat GPT.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? You want the best arguments. These are the best arguments.
If you think that
We want your
ChatGPT gives the
argument.
best arguments, like you have some research to do, good sir.
Okay. Are you afraid of it?
No.
Okay. Then you have nothing to be afraid of.
Well, I'm just correcting you on your bullshit statement.
What was bullshit about my statement?
That ChatGPT is going to present the best arguments.
I mean, people have been talking about this for years. They wrote it down on the internet, and ChatGPT has access to every single thing that's been
Okie
written on
dokie,
the
guy.
internet.
Go ahead. Go
Is there a
ahead.
problem with that?
Wow.
You want more
No,
information?
you go
to
ahead.
come to
Live your
conclusions,
best
right?
life. Live
Hold
your
on a
best
sec.
life,
Hold on.
man. Go
Let's
ahead.
stop right here.
No. Don't stop. Read your ChatGPT arguments.
I mean, you're already going into it with
Destroy
like this
his
assumption in your
argument with
head.
Yeah, come on.
ChatGPT's
Come on,
is this
tough
how
guy.
let me ask you
Come
something.
on,
Is this
tough
how you
guy.
do research? You already like think one source that like isn't necessarily a source. It's actually
I
like
don't
the
even
brain
think
that
you
understands
understand
more
what the word
things.
research means.
I mean, you could use ChatGPT to research a lot
No,
faster.
you can't.
Okay. You want to? Yeah. I mean, we could have a race later. You want to have a race? See who finds the most information. I'll use ChatGPT. Use something else, and it's going to be like me using a calculator to solve a math
Sorry,
problem.
just to be
Use a
clear,
pen and
you
paper.
think that getting words fastest amounts to the best research?
I would say when you have more time to go down a lot more rabbit holes faster, that's better research. Yes.
Yeah, you're a dumbass that doesn't understand research.
It seems that you're a little closed-minded to certain things. I
Okie
appreciate
dokie.
your input. I'm kind
Yeah,
of
go ahead.
wondering
Can
how
you
you
can you
came to
get to your
that.
Chat GPT your
Yeah.
best arguments?
Give me a sec.
We are on the edge of our seats here.
All right, good.
Thank you, Kay.
All right. And I already feel like no matter what I say here, or whatever Chat GPT comes up with,
Stop
I feel like you're gonna have
stalling.
some way to
Stop stalling.
not understand it quite the way it's meant
Okay.
to. Okay, here we go.
Well, if we don't, you
Yeah.
have nothing to fear.
All right, here we go. So regulation is not endorsement. That's kind of what I was saying in other words. So the most foundational rebuttal: laws often regulate moral tragic realities without endorsing them. Examples today: war, prisons, divorce, bankruptcy. Regulation does not equal moral ideal. Jesus explicitly affirms that the logic when he says Moses permitted divorce because humans' hardness, not because it was good. This establishes a biblical precedent for the law that constrains harm rather than celebrate the institution.
Sure. So go ahead and tie Matthew 19 to slavery. Go ahead.
Tie Matthew 19 to slavery? What do you mean?
That's what you're talking about. You don't know it, but that's what you're talking about.
All right. So you want me to tie Matthew 19 to slavery?
I want you to use your brain.
I mean,
That would be great.
I do research. I mean, are you using your brain when you're doing research?
Yes.
Is researching
So am I.
ChatGPT? Like,
You're not. You're just typing what I say into ChatGPT. But go ahead. Go
that's
ahead.
not research.
I
Go
mean,
ahead.
you're not really disputing these arguments, are you?
I absolutely just did.
Okay. So the law limits slavery instead of promoting it. Would you agree with that?
No.
What does it do?
It does what every other ancient Near Eastern law collection does. It assumes it's reality, and it says, here's how you do it correctly.
Is it reality, though?
Yes.
Why would you have to say it assumes it's reality? It was the reality back then. We know that.
That's what it means to say it assumes it's reality.
Okay. I don't know why you said
And it
assumes
condones
the
it for
reality.
sure. Allows,
you don't know how
condones,
words work?
endorses.
Condones, endorse. It doesn't say. It says the law limits slavery instead of promoting it.
Just like in the laws of Hammurabi, just like in the laws of Ornama,
Okay.
just like in the laws of Lipit-Ishtar, just like in the laws of Eshnunna.
Here's another route that maybe we could go to understand this better. To maybe like
Yes,
really
that one
understand.
already failed. Your Matthew 19
not
argument
necessarily.
failed.
Not necessarily.
Could you? No, okay, then let's stay with it. Can you
Let's-
tie Matthew 19?
what if we go back a little bit?
Tie Matthew 19 to slavery. Go ahead.
I did type that in. Let's see.
And what did you get?
I mean, this is good. I'm always trying to learn stuff too. It says Moses permitted you to divorce your wives because your hearts were hard, but it's not the way this was from the beginning. It does three critical things: admit that the law given by Moses permits a morally suboptimal practice, explains why the law exists, human hardness, not divine ideal, appeals to a prior moral vision from the beginning that overrides the law.
Did you tie it to slavery and anything you just said?
I think it explains it pretty well, right?
Yeah. So did you tie it to slavery and anything that you said?
I mean, we talked about admits the
I
law
guess
given by
loving your
Moses, which
neighbor.
was
Listen,
slavery.
loving your neighbor is also part of the law. So I guess that is also not the ideal. It's something that God permitted because of the hardness of their
I feel like
hearts.
you're being willfully ignorant. Like, well, it said this over here. I mean, can you use? I mean, you're accusing me of not using my brain. Use your brain. What do you think? Do you think that slavery is good, but loving your neighbor is not good? That's what you're saying. I mean, that's
I'm
the stupid
saying
stuff I
that
have to code through.
hey, doofus. The reason that I'm
Ooh,
bringing that
doofus,
up,
good one.
yes, doofus, that's
Ooh,
you.
doofus.
Because
Is this a Yo Mama
in
joke?
Leviticus, hey, are you
Hey, man.
scared of my response?
I'm not scared of your response.
Okay, then
I'm entertained
shut
by your response.
up. Then shut up. I'm saying that in the ancient Near Eastern mindset, which would include the Hebrew Bible, they did not see slavery as a form of oppression. They did not see slavery and owning other people as property as incompatible with loving one's neighbor as oneself.
Okay. The other thing I wanted to look up, which I heard a little bit about, is the word slavery.
I don't even think he heard you say that.
No, he didn't.
He's not hearing anything.
Yes, what about the word slavery?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that the word slavery in Hebrew is not the way we interpret it today.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell me.
Okay.
Yes, tell the PhD Hebrew scholar what slavery means.
Eved.
Eved.
Eved means literally
Yeah, what's it mean?
slave or bound servant. Comes from the root meaning to work or to serve. So at its core, the word emphasizes service, not ownership.
Okay. So how do you determine what a word means?
I would say the way it's used most.
Yes, it's context, right?
Okay, sure.
Yeah, it's context, right? So how is it used in Leviticus 25, 44 to 46? Go ahead.
I mean, it is in debt to someone, right? It is working for someone.
So you don't know what Leviticus 25, 44 to 46 is?
Is there clear stuff that suggests otherwise?
Yes, so read the passage.
Okay. Ownership. It says that at its core, it's service, not ownership.
Read Leviticus 25, 44 to 46. Go ahead.
In its context.
Do you think whatever this is describing is loving your neighbor?
I'm saying that they did not see it as incompatible. But if you want to read the verses, that would be useful.
And he thinks loving your neighbor is loving everyone, and it's not.
I mean, why not? Should we not love
because it's not
people around us?
Don't run from this.
I'm
Leviticus 25, 44 to 46.
All right, 44 to 46.
Here, I got it pulled up right now. It says, as for the male and female slaves whom you may have, it is from the nations around you that you may acquire male and female slaves. You may also acquire them from among the aliens residing with you, and from their families who are with you, who have been born in your land. They may be your property. You may keep them as a possession for your children after you, for them to inherit as property. These you may treat as slaves. But as for your fellow Israelites, no one shall rule over the other with harshness.
Now, can you give me the constellation of characteristics that go along with the word Eved in those verses?
I was getting through that. I was just reading through it. But let me go back up. 25, big picture. I'm doing a whole study on Leviticus right now. You are too.
That's great. So can you tell me what the constellation of characteristics are in 44 to 46? How does it describe those male and female slaves? What are they?
Looking it up right now. So, I mean, is this where you base like a lot of your understanding?
Oh my God. Just answer the question.
It's coming up right now. Leviticus 25, 43 for 46.
You still haven't pulled it up? I thought you were Mr. Speedy with the keyboard.
I was reading some other stuff, but I got Leviticus
you're not listening. That's surprising.
permits Israelites. I mean, would you do what you
Oh
would?
my God! Just
Hold on a
read the
second.
text.
I got it
Just
right
read
here.
the
Dude,
text.
Well, then you
you
add
really
these little
are
jabs, and I
doofus.
feel like I got to defend myself from these jabs. So stop jabbing. Let me read it.
Yeah, just
Hi,
read the
Rabbi
text.
Hannah.
Leviticus 25,
Good
44 through
morning.
46 permits Israelites to acquire slaves from surrounding nations and say those slaves may be held for life and inherited. This is the hardest slavery passage in the Hebrew Bible. Good for you, man. You found the hardest passage to talk
Yeah,
about
good
right
for
now.
me.
Scholars agree on
Can
that. The debate is how to understand what the law is doing. Step 1. What scholars agree on baseline consensus. The text permits foreign slavery in ancient Israel. It does not abolish slavery. It reflects ancient Near Eastern social realities, not moral framework. It must be interpreted inside Leviticus 25 as a whole, not in isolation. Where scholars differ is what that permission means theologically. Step 2.
Right. So let's
Let me
stop
go
for
through
a
this. Let me go.
second. No, no,
Okay.
no. I want you
As
to
a whole.
understand what the passage says. So just read the verses.
I thought that was the
Stop
first thing I
reading
did.
Chat GPT and read the verses.
Okay.
just out of curiosity, I went ahead because I also am not a Chat GPT user, but I went ahead and typed in does Leviticus endorse slavery, and mine says it does. So I wonder what that is about.
I mean, we talked about
I can
earlier.
tell you, I
Chat.
actually know what that's about. It's because how you have trained your Chat GPT, because it is
Yep.
a large language model, and all it's doing is taking the way you ask questions, the things
Yep.
that you have researched before, and it is giving you an answer that is in line with what you are asking it based on how you ask it.
Okay.
So
Are you saying
It's
that
biased.
the answer?
it's
I'm sorry.
bias, is what I'm telling you.
Yep.
Are you saying it's not true though?
Oh my
I
God.
am
Please just read the verses.
read the passage. I mean, I can understand. I cannot believe you're actually having an argument with the guy. You understand who Dr. Joshua Bowen is, right? He is the guy.
He's
Hey,
never heard
I
of
think
him.
he needs to hear the best arguments on both sides, right?
Do you think that in his, I don't know, 20 years of doing this work, he hasn't heard the best argument? You're not bringing the best argument. Let me just say that.
Well, okay. Let me
Exactly.
ask Dr. Josh here. What is the
No,
best
just
argument?
please read the
No,
three
read
verses.
the freaking passage. Just read it.
All right.
You got this. By the way, good morning, Josh.
Good morning, Rabbi Hannah. Good to see you.
Morning, Rabbi
Let's get some
Hannah.
booms in the chat for breaking 200 people watching for the first time ever.
Oh, snap.
Climbing. Boom.
You're on your way.
Oh, well, thanks to you. You've been up here putting them in
please.
today, I think. Oh,
I need that help over
Josh.
on my channel. I'm telling you, I need to get that kind of help over on my channel. I get like 10 people.
We'll send you some. If y'all ain't following Rabbi, y'all make sure you are there. If you're not following Patrina, make sure you are. And of course, Dr. Josh, the man of the hour, the man of the 21st
Bow
century,
tie Bible
according
guy.
to Time
You guys are
Magazine.
silly. Brad, did you find those verses yet?
I thought it would just bring up the actual passage. I typed it in, just like give me the actual passage. Kept on giving me stuff that was just.
Oh
like,
my
a bunch
God!
of
Do
stuff
you
around
not?
it. It's coming up.
This is sad. Look, go to your. I'm going to help you. Go to your internet bar and type in the words Leviticus, or the word Leviticus, and then space, and then 25, and press enter.
Yeah, I did that on Chat GPT.
I don't want you to do it on Chat GPT. I said your internet browser. Oh my God! This is our Boomer. How old are you?
All right, here you go. This is the past. What? This is an AI overview on Google now.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Just read the verses. No.
I got
Just
it.
read verses 44 to 46. I don't care
got
what
it now.
version you use. Please just read the verses.
As for your male and female slaves who you may have, you may buy male and female slaves from among, it looks like it's about to say nations. Let me click on it. Buy slaves among the nations that are around you. You may also buy from among the strangers who sojourn with you at their clans that are with you. You have been born in the land, they may be your property. And it goes on, you may bequeath them to your sons after you inherit as possession forever. You may make slaves of them and be over your brothers, people of Israel. You shall not rule over one another ruthlessly.
Okay, so Rad, I want you to pretend for a minute that you're in Sunday school, adult Sunday school, right? And you're leading it. You've just read this passage, and now you're going to give a little bit of an explanation for it. So you're going to start with what it actually says. So how is it describing the slaves, right? What are the rules about them?
Now, I mean, for me to pretend this, I would have to, get behind this idea. This is like an important passage to teach people, and that should be a prescription to these people. I mean, can you see how this would not be something?
Can you just focus? Can you just tell me what the text says?
I feel like you're ignoring our previous argument that.
Yeah, I just want you to tell me what the text says, sir.
I know what the text because I just read it for you.
Okay, so can you buy male and female slaves from the nations around you?
And it's weird that you've attached yourself to this scripture, and this is like what you based your whole study on.
Hello, I know you're afraid, but I just want you to answer the question.
And you think that I'm afraid? I mean,
yeah, I know that you are because you're not answering. Okay, so prove me wrong and answer the question. Yeah, Brad, I know. It's a tough passage, right? So according to this law, could they purchase male and female slaves from the nations that were around them?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Could they purchase foreigners that were living in the land with them?
All right. I think this is, and I think you know the answers.
Yes. I do know the answers. I want to make sure you do.
Just answer all your questions. All the answers are yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think this is what we should be doing, though?
It's irrelevant to what we were describing. You just told me. No. I want you to focus. Yeah. Non-doctor. I want you to remember why we're talking about this. You said the word eved, according to your brilliant chat GPT, means like worker, right? It comes from the root avad, which means to work or to do. And so that should inform the word eved, right? You remember saying that?
Yeah, but this all comes down to
all right. So why did I take you here? Why did I take you here?
We don't need to go down.
Why did I take you here? Hey, smart guy. Why did I bring you here?
You brought me here, are you trying to prove that this is a prescriptive or
oh my God. So you don't remember. Listen, I asked you, how does lexicography work? How do we know what a word means? And you very correctly said how it's used implicitly in its context, right?
I was trying to throw you a bone, but yeah.
Thanks for throwing me a bone about lexicography. So now, here we are in this passage. What does eved mean in this passage? How are they describing it?
Okay.
Someone who can be purchased,
owned
as property, passed on as inheritance, made to serve for life. What is that?
That's not loving your neighbor as yourself.
To you.
Okay.
Which I'm very happy about, by the way.
Well, here's another modern day thing going on.
No. Well, look. Hey, I need you to stay with me because I know you're in a corner and I get it.
I'm not in a corner. I'm trying to expand your worldview. I'm trying to.
Yes, thank you for expanding my world. I appreciate your concern, but let's do this.
I let you do a lot of talking.
You're right. So now we're just going to get to the end of this. We're just going to get to the end of this.
Okay.
What kind of slavery is that? Do you know?
So that sounds like ownership slavery.
It's chattel slavery.
Okay.
So that's what eved means there.
Cool.
It's describing chattel slaves. So that's the second argument from your brilliant chat GPT that has fallen flat.
I didn't get through all the arguments, but you're
Go ahead. Do you have another one? Two down.
Seems like you're ignoring.
You're 0 for 2. You got another one?
Look, this is like your life goal. I don't want to mess up your life goal here. All goes back to what I said earlier. Goes back to the stuff I said over and over and over again, which you're not really realizing. I really want you to realize this. And when you put your head on your pillow and you figure out what your purpose is in life, ask, is this the best thing I could be doing right now?
Oh, absolutely. Arguing with doofuses on the internet. Are you kidding?
Because it's arguments like this.
Dangerous too.
You understand that something like this takes about 3% of Josh's brain capacity at any moment. He's probably solving like equations in his head while he's talking to you.
Man, he sounds
like so kind to me.
What else does he do?
Probably saving the world while you're over there trying to figure out how to wax your wakeboard.
Ooh, I like that.
He's also
wax my wakeboard.
Rad, the reason,
You don't know how funny that is.
Rad, the reason that this is important. Look, I'm trying to be
That is pretty funny.
straight with you here.
Go ahead, Josh.
The reason that this is important is because the arguments that you're making using your chat GPT are what embolden people to allow slavery to continue.
I mean, would you say there's any modern day slavery going on?
Of course there is, but that's not the point.
Yeah.
Well, I wanna know about modern day slavery. I mean, we can't do anything about the past except learn from it. What we do in
Right,
the
but
future.
that's the point, right? When you have people that are following a particular form of a religion and saying, we should base our morality on this ancient text, that's why we're here.
Okay.
Because we're trying to say that's a problem.
Okay. Is loving your neighbor as yourself a problem?
That's not basing your morality on an ancient text, is it?
I mean, that's in the text. It's in the ancient text, right?
Okay, so according to your lights, I base my life off of the Epic of Gilgamesh, because when I read about Gilgamesh weeping over Enkidu for 7 days, I look at that and I say, man, that is really moving. That reminds me of my own mortality. That really speaks to me. I guess that means that I do everything inside of the Epic of Gilgamesh, yeah?
So you do things within. I mean, what is the?
Okay, so miss me with that shit.
Before. What do they talk about in the Epic of or the Gilgamesh?
Oh my
What do
God!
they talk about there?
I just So it says in the laws of Hammurabi, don't unalive people unjustifiably. Does that mean that we follow the laws of Hammurabi?
I mean, if there's a certain law that says something like that, I'm like, that's not a bad idea, right?
Right.
Why
Yeah, of course.
The Bible been passed down so many times? I mean, if it was just full of...
Sorry, is that your argument, that because it's been passed down, that means that it's right? Is that your argument?
I mean, I would say it's been a popular book. What book would you say has done more to shape, human morality than the Bible?
I'm sorry.
Crickets.
So that makes it
wow,
right?
Crickets.
Yeah, so that makes it right?
Answer the
I'm trying to
question.
understand.
Oh my gosh, now you are like backpedaling. And this
I'm not backpedaling. I don't know of another book that has done that. Hey,
I'm a very minor person in this argument.
You
spent
do you
20
understand
years
that when
coming to these conclusions,
hello,
and you can't answer all of my questions.
You're I answered your question. Do you remember when I answered your question?
You didn't answer. You were asking another question when I asked you a question. Okay.
Yeah, implicit in my response. Hey,
let me
smart
educate
guy.
you on something.
Yeah, a smart guy. Implicit in my response was that an agreement of your question?
Calling.
Smart guy is a name.
I mean, is this what people do when they get so infatuated with what they start doing insults? I mean, is this sixth grade when we do
infatuated?
Yo, mama?
Is that the word? Is that the word that you really want to use?
I mean, I'm not slinging insults at you, am I? I mean, when you start slinging
you're just
insults,
being horribly
it shows that you're losing. It shows that you're losing an argument. I'm being disrespectful because you're disrespectful to me. I go off the energy that's given me. You're giving me energy that's very disrespectful, calling names, and I don't call names back.
Okay.
Smart guy's a name? He called you smart guy. That's insulting to you?
Rabbi, you're being willfully ignorant right now.
Oh, honey, I'm not the one. You think Josh is bad. I'm definitely not the one.
You know what sarcasm... Rabbi, I don't want to get you in on this. Do you know what ignorance is, and do you know how you were being ignorant?
Yeah, I absolutely know what ignorance is. I'm talking to it. You are walking ignorance, and I'm talking to it.
Do you hear the sarcasm?
Brad, you're 0 for 2. You're 0 for 2 with your chat GPT. Do you have another argument?
You'd like to think that. You'd like to think that. Let me go.
I mean, let's put a 1 in the comments section if you think he's 0 for 2.
All right,
and
let me
2 if you think
some stuff while we vote, all right?
Yeah.
So we're talking about biblical principles. Are you saying any biblical principles are good?
Why are you reading that into anything that I've said?
Because
it's a weird question to ask.
You're picking the worst stuff out of the Bible, and you want to talk about that, but you don't want to talk about the good stuff. I think a fair person
did you understand
would look
why?
At the good and the bad.
Do you understand why?
I say you're looking at the bad stuff because you think it's shaped humanity in a bad way.
Yes,
in some ways
that's correct.
Has. In some ways it has.
Okay,
I'll agree with you.
There you go. And it continues
not.
To, doesn't it?
Would you agree that we're on some sort of moral third base based on what we had from the Bible?
Of course.
There we go. So
sorry. I want to make sure I understood what you said because I'm not sure I did. When you say based on the Bible, you mean because of the Bible we've moved forward?
I mean, because of many things. One of the things I think is a moral framework that is outlined in the Bible pretty well.
I would say, okay, so I'm going to agree with you because I think the things that are the good moral framework, the Bible got, at least in the Hebrew Bible, from things that previously existed in other nations.
Yeah. Well, I really enjoyed the conversation. I really need to go hang out with my kid. I'm not backing down. I'm saying pause and we'll continue
That's
later.
fine.
I can continue a little bit longer, but thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate and if I said anything that suggested you're not a intelligent man, I apologize for that.
No,
I
you
need
don't have
see
to
something
apologize,
new.
man. You're good. You're good.
All right, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me. I'm gonna get my coffee, and I might swing back if I have some time. Thanks, guys.
All right, take care, Rad.
That's cool, Rad. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, that was
I should probably drop myself.
something. Well, that was quite interesting. But yeah, to recap that last part there, we do think most Christians have moved past the Bible. So, like, if you're a Christian and you say that slavery is bad, you have moved past the morality of the Bible. So we have left it in the dust where it belongs. So we do appreciate that, for sure. Dr. Josh, that was awesome.
Oh, sorry if I got too worked up. I appreciate you.
Of course not.
I appreciate you letting me up. And obviously, again, thank you for all the very kind and generous things that you guys always say about me. I don't know how deserved it is, but I really appreciate it.
It's very deserved. In fact, while Dr. Josh is here, we'll throw up a little endorsement of his book real quick. Learn Ancient Hebrew with Dr. Josh.
I appreciate that. I just recorded lesson 6 and its exercises for the on-demand Learn to Read Ancient Hebrew series. So that should be up, I hope, the next couple of months. Course 1. So.
Well, I've got the whole alphabet down now. There's only a small part at the end there. I can't get the writing down clear, flashcard it where I can do it really good. I'm almost.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Just let me know when you need to have a call and we'll chat about it.
Yeah, I just want to be confident when I'm.
No, I hear you.
Steal your time like that.
No, I hear you. All right, guys. Well, thank you again for having me up, and I will listen in.
Dr. Josh, you are the man.
I'll let you drop me down so it doesn't screw with the algorithm.
Oh yeah, I got you. Y'all, we love Dr. Josh. And even if you don't want to learn ancient Hebrew, if you're not don't think you need to know a language, he has a fantastic book where you can learn about the Old Testament that is geared toward apologetics from a scholarly mind. And it is amazing information, and that is called The Atheist Handbook to the Old Testament, Volume 1 and 2. And both of those are freaking awesome. And I still got 20 minutes I can be on. There's over 200 people here. I think we got to keep going. We got the rabbi up here still. You ain't got to run right this second, do you, Rabbi? Rabbi Hannah, are you there? She might have some. Anyway, she ain't dropped down. So there's still a actual rabbi here if you do want to come on up. We've got quite a few people in the queue here. Let me see if Zach's still here. This will be a good one. Zach, you there?
What's up, buddy?
What's up, man? You're over 18?
Yeah, barely.
Cool, and you're one of the Christians?
Man, I am. I will admit I am. And I love listening to this stuff. I've talked to you before, and we've had a discussion or two, and
oh, cool.
I ain't always agreed with how things have went about, this channel, but sitting and watching and taking a step back, I appreciate you for what you do.
Thank you, man. I've actually had a few haters convert after watching for a while. I think people at least figure out that I'm not just lying and being dishonest, so I think people respect that.
I may not agree with you, or I may not be on your level, but at the same time, I think that the topic of discussion should be talked about, and I think there's a lot that people will get from this, And I've been the person that got big mad and man, this is bullshit. I ain't listening to this. But hearing the discussions, like I think this is what the world needs, to talk about this stuff and debate and hear from people that actually know something. And I'm not trying to downplay nobody because I'm not the most intelligent person in the world, but I'm not going to ask ChatGPT to save my life or nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Good job.
Like, ChatGPT ain't going to save me from dying.
Right. So you got one of those topics you disagree with us on? Or?
Get on there. I disagree, but I mean, I don't have the degree to back up everything that I'm saying and get into a huge argument. I will argue if it, depends on certain things, and we can make for a fun show.
Oh, man, that's cool. I've still got like 15 minutes if you got something you think you can contend us on. And we got an actual Jewish rabbi up here right now. So speaks, read, Hebrew, all that good stuff.
I kind of want to hear some Hebrew. I kind of want to hear her like speaking.
Well, I don't know if she's here.
I've also went to Mexico.
Speak Hebrew, actually, but cool. We only got a little bit longer. Do you think we could get on to like a debate type thing, or
what do you want to debate?
One of these topics up here.
Jesus fulfills zero prophecy.
Yeah,
I'm reading your numbers here. I believe he does fulfill some prophecy.
Can you show us one?
Well, somebody sent a message in Hebrew, I think. The Black Dragon, and I want to know what that says.
Well, I don't know. I haven't learned to read Hebrew
How
yet.
do we translate?
Well, I don't know. Do you got
trying to read?
Are we actually going to debate one of these topics? I've only got a minute left, man. I can't.
Well, I mean, start talking shit. I'll talk.
All right. Appreciate you, bud. We can't. We only got a little bit of time. This isn't going anywhere at all. Goodness gracious. All right. Let me try another one while we still got a little bit of time here. Just going to run through them real quick and see what happens. Yeah, there you go, Pencil. You can just hit translate, apparently. Damn. All right. We're going to put one up here hard. We talked to the last guy for a long time. Some of these might not be here. Let's see. Truth, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, man? Are you over 18?
I am. Yep.
Awesome. Are you one of the Christians?
I am a Christian.
Cool. So which one of these topics you want to debate us on here today?
I would want to debate the second and third one. Not sure if you have a preference.
God is unjust and condones slavery?
So, I think the third one is probably more prudent, but the second one we can do as well. So, like when you say God is unjust and condones slavery, and you just had the biblical slavery expert on, I was hoping to talk to him, but he's not here anymore. That's okay. As far as does God allow slavery and regulate it, give rules for it per se, I would say yes, but I wouldn't say God is unjust.
Well, I mean, I think it's unjust to allow slavery on its own, but I say unjust more in the sense that he allows generational punishments and punishes people for other people's crime. Like when we was talking about David is the one who committed the sin of adultery, but God unalives an infant baby and has 10 of David's wives raped for what David did. Like, that's the unjust part. You don't disagree with that, do you?
Well, I don't think God had his wives graped per se. Like, I don't think God.
He totally did.
So you think God took the hearts of the men that did that and forcibly had them do it?
Yeah, that's what it says.
So I don't think it says that literally. So let's.
Here, I'll read it to you. It says, "Thus says the Lord, I will raise up trouble against you from within your own house, and I will take your wives before your eyes and give them to your neighbor, and he shall lie with your wives in broad daylight. For you did it secretly, but I will do this thing before all of Israel and in broad daylight." So God is literally saying, I'm going to make this happen.
So, but again, like the implication here to say that it's like the worst possible scenario, which is that God took the hearts of these men and made them grape the women.
That's what it says. It says, I will take your wives. God is taking credit for this in this passage.
So he says, I'll take your wives, right? Now, does it say that it's against the will of the wives?
Yeah. They didn't consent to this. You're talking about, it's their son that does this. Why would they agreeably sleep with their son in the face of the king? They would have been unalive for this immediately.
Right. So, that's right. That's right. So this is, let me see here. What passage are we in?
2 Samuel 12.
That's right.
That's verse 11. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm trying to remember which son of David's did this.
I didn't say sons of God here too. He knows some stuff.
Hey, Jesse.
What up, dog?
How you doing, bro?
Doing good, man. How are you?
Not too bad, man. Not too bad. So, I know you only have a couple of minutes, my friend, but thank you for bringing me up.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. There's no way, even as a believer in the New Testament, man, there's no way to justify the actions of graping. All right? No way to justify it. No way to justify the actions of this God of the Old Testament. All right? Matter of fact, what I would tell you is that this God of the Old Testament was a sadistic psychopath that was not even real, and he was just taking property that didn't belong to him. And that was the entire point. All right? Because Yahweh in the Old Testament was a territorial deity at one point that was under the hand of El Elyon, but over the evolution of the text, even getting into the book of Isaiah, it talks about how Yahweh became the God of the heavens and the earth. So there's no way to justify this at all.
I agree.
Okay, so
but I think Truth is disagreeing that this is like grape. Like I think he's saying this is consensual. Is that what you're saying, Truth?
I'm saying like it's not very clear from the text that this punishment, this what's set out, right? This is supposed to be something against David, right?
Right.
So, because God clearly condemns grape in Deuteronomy 22.
Yeah, but he ordered it a whole lot in the Old Testament.
Yeah,
I don't think he's ordering it here. I think what he's doing,
he's ordering.
So let's read the passage here. I think we're adding an unnecessary cynicism to the text. So, out of your own household, I'm going to bring calamity on you. Before your very eyes, I will take your wives and give them to one who is close to you, and he will sleep with your wives in broad daylight. So there's no mention of, and then it says, you did it in secret, but I will do this in broad daylight before all of Israel. So there's no mention of grape here. There's no mention.
Do you think the women consented? Do you think women had the ability to consent?
Well, there's no mention of grape here. So we're positing cynicism.
So let's put a pin in that. It's supposed to be a punishment against David, right?
Correct.
So how is David being punished by his wives being taken? Because it isn't him that's going to be sleeping with somebody; it's his wives.
But the problem is that this is going to insult David. This is going to like turn people against him. His
Oh,
wives are
well,
leaving
that
him,
means
right?
that the wives that have no, that means the wives, they're literally a pawn in this.
Now listen, I understand.
It's the same as Bathsheba. Bathsheba didn't have a right to consent. She had
Right.
her son taken from her. She
Mhm.
has
What
her
do you mean she
son.
didn't
She
have a right
goes
to
through.
consent? Like, you
Oh,
think David raped her?
the king tells you you're going to come to be with me. You think can tell the king no?
Well, you could. The outcome may not be
Oh,
so
No,
good.
you
you
have no
die.
idea how kings work then.
Yeah, you die.
One of those free choice things, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, that's not how that works. The king says you will come before me and then you will do what I ask you to. Are in no position to tell the king no.
No,
Right.
listen,
But
I would agree. It
she
would have.
carries a child for 9 months just to watch the child get sick and be unalive because David did something wrong. There is no one talks about the pain that Bathsheba has to endure because of her stupid king.
There's no doubt that this is entirely, David brought this in, and I'm not saying that you could just defy a king. What I'm saying is there was the possibility of consent or not
Show
consent.
me a
No,
source
no,
that says that.
no. There's no possibility of consent here. This is
So
the
this
way
is going to,
archaic
but
people
this
work.
is going to defy libertarian free will, right? And if we
This is
defy
not
Show
free
me
libertarian
a
will.
free will,
source. Show me a source.
This is not free
I
will.
would love a source that tells me or tells you where you got the idea that somebody, a woman, especially in the Near Ancient East, could say, no, I'm not going to do this. Show me a source.
So again, I think we're getting confused here. She would have likely been through a horrible experience, worse than if she said yes. Like, let's say, even if she didn't want to, she would probably say yes to avoid punishment. Yeah, I understand that women were treated as second-class citizens in the ancient Near East. I'm not disregarding that. What I'm saying is, if she truly didn't want to, she could have ran. There are other things she could have done, but she did not. So it's possible. It's not necessarily the case that she did not want to be with David.
That is an argument from absurdity to say, well, she could have, right. And if my Aunt Betty had balls, she'd be my Uncle Bill. But that is not what happened.
I think that's a bigger jump than I made.
I don't think it's actually that much of a bigger jump. I think that what you're doing is you're arguing that because you believe through the lens of modernity that she had other options as if to run, as if a woman running is not going to be caught, that she had to make the conscious choice to say yes. Now, I will agree with you that the likelihood that she said yes to avoid it being worse is probably high. But to think that she had a choice, I think that's so short-sighted.
Well, what I'm trying to say is we don't know that she did not want to be with King David. We don't know that.
Oh, she didn't. She didn't. In 2 Samuel chapter 11, when this whole ordeal is going down, she's sitting there taking a bath, and it says that David looked down from above, and he took her unto himself. All right? She had a husband. She was a happily married woman. All right? So the fact is it was a divide and conquer type of idea. David wanted anything that he could have. Then he takes his best friend Uriah. He writes a letter to actually send him out into the front of the battle line. All right? There's no getting around this. All right? Nothing.
So again, I didn't hear anywhere where it said it was against the will of Bathsheba.
Okay.
There's no reason to think it was her will is the point. And we know that these wives later on here didn't consent because they lived out their days in a house. If they would have been guilty of adultery, they would have been unalived immediately. But the fact that they were put in a house because they were defiled and couldn't come back to David just goes to show you for sure that they were great. And that was the consequence.
Yeah.
I think we're positing an unnecessary cynicism here. I don't see the need to do that.
Let's put it this way, man. All right, okay. And this is what I would tell you. All right, as a Christian, as you being a Christian, I'm a believer in the New Testament as well. All right, Jesus did say, "All that have ever come before me are thieves, robbers, and liars." So, as a Christian, you would have to posit the idea that everyone before what he's saying was a liar. Okay. The entire point is that he's actually separating himself from the God of the Old Testament, a deity that is of holding the keys of death, destroying people, and all these things going on. All right? So even as a Christian and a believer, the first ones were the Gnostics, the Marcionites.
They were not the first ones.
Yes, they were.
No.
Yes, they were. It wasn't the Orthodox. I'll tell you that much.
There was no denomination then. Like there were just the early Christians. This is the whole Marcion, Steve. I don't see this whole argument. There's
let's not get too far from the just thing. I only got a few minutes left, so let's stay on the topic here if we could.
Okay, I see where he's going, like this whole Marcion route. I don't. Regardless, the whole just piece, right? It's possible that God, being an omniscient being, is aware that though these circumstances are not ideal, they will lead to the best outcome. And so, and remember,
what was the best outcome?
The possibility of good, or what good means. Like to me, I think that God, and this is not inconsistent with early Christians and early Jews, right? Virtue is what's sought after as the highest good, as opposed to like our modern sense today, which is utility. So there are going to be horrible things that still happen, but it's possible that good can come from these horrible things, like in the story of Joseph. So even despite God allowing,
had 10 women raped to bring about the best outcome in this story.
This is a terrible argument right here to try to say that this turned into something good later on in the future. You really need to go back and you really need to observe and think about these things that you're saying. All right? Because
I've thought about them pretty clearly.
No.
What is good then?
You're very immoral then.
So what is good?
If you think that these things are okay.
So what is good?
Okay? One minute. You think it's okay that Palestinians are being genocided over there in Gaza right now because Israel says they have right to that land?
I never said that.
Well, that's exactly what's going on here in the Old Testament. They're doing genocide in order to establish something, to create something that they think is going to be good in the future. So if you can't rationalize the idea that these people in Palestine are being unalived and raped, you can't justify the actions of the God of the Old Testament.
Yeah,
it's
I don't
not
think
possible.
It's analogous.
Yeah, well, you can sit there and use all the big words you want. You're immoral. That's what you are.
Okay, so if you're going to call me immoral, I'm going to ask you, what does good mean? What is good?
To love people, to accept people for who they are.
Okay, I'm asking you, what is good? You're telling me good things, things that you claim is good. So give me the ontological definition of good.
That's literally what the New Testament says. God is love. That's all it says. God is love. All right? He doesn't sit there and be a respecter of persons. He keeps no records of wrongs. He doesn't sit there and justify immoral actions to unalive people, great people, except virgins and gold and silver, dash children's heads against rocks. You can't justify any of this, and it's not justifiable.
Okay,
friend.
The psalm where they talk about dashing kids against rocks, this isn't like a command from God. This is angry Hebrews singing this to make fun of.
You want to hear an actual command from God to bash babies' heads and rape women?
It's not an actual command, but go ahead.
Yes, it is. It literally says it's a command from God. Isaiah chapter 13. Here, I'll read it to you. I myself have commanded my consecrated ones. I have summoned my warriors, my proudly exulting ones, to execute my anger. Then it says, well, for the day of the Lord is near. It will come like destruction from the Almighty. So God is literally commanding this. And it says, whoever is found will be thrust through, and whoever is caught will fall by the sword. Their infants will be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses will be plundered, and their wives great. See, I'm stirring up the men.
It's not a command from God.
It is a command. It literally just said it was a command.
Read the verse again.
Verse 3. I myself have commanded my consecrated ones. So who is I in this chapter here?
Where are you reading from?
Isaiah chapter 13.
This is probably Yahweh talking.
Yep, That's right. That's God. It says, I, myself, have commanded my consecrated ones. So he's commanding somebody to do something there, ain't he?
Mm-hmm. Keep reading.
Right. Okay. And it says, listen, a tumult on the mountains of a great multitude. Listen, an uproar of kingdoms of nations gathering together. The Lord of hosts is mustering an army for battle that will come from a distant land, from the end of the heavens. The Lord and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole earth. Well, for the day of the Lord is near. It will come like destruction from the Almighty. Therefore, all hands will be feeble, and every human heart will melt, and they will be terrified. Pains and agony will seize them. They will be in anguish like a woman in labor. They will look aghast at one another. Their faces will be aflame. See, the day of the Lord is coming, cruel, with wrath and fierce anger, to make the earth a desolation and to destroy its sinners from it. So, like, this is literally God proclaiming this on Babylon. He's saying whoever is found will be run through, and their infants will be dashed to pieces, and their houses will be plundered, and their wives grape. Like, he's literally commanding this. This is a proclamation against Babylon.
So in verse 3, where he says, I've commanded my consecrated ones, I have called for my warriors who boast in my eminence to execute my anger. Right? So I think there's a lot of, and there's, we're not going to have time to get into all of this here. I really wanted to more so get into the ethics piece specifically. But I don't think that God is
this.
So I mean ethics as a whole. So like the very base that you're using to say that this is immoral, I think you're using a Christian foundation to attack the Bible.
The Christian Foundation says this shit's okay, and I don't. So I'm not using Christian morals
So
here.
are you? Did you grow up in the West?
I'm in the Southeast.
Okay, in the United States, right?
Yeah, North Alabama.
Okay, that's the West. So our
the East, but whatever.
Like if we look at the Western Hemisphere,
society. He means Western societies.
Oh, I thought he meant the U.S.
No.
He's talking about Western society. So yes, the U.S.
I got you. My bad.
So as a Western societal, like a modern Westerner today, we've grown up in Christian waters, whether we realize that or not. Like many of our valued rights today, things like slavery, for example, being abolished, that started from Western Christian abolitionist movements.
No, it
in
didn't.
The
The Bible
19th
says
century or late
owning
18th
slaves
century.
is okay. People moved past Christianity, and then we outlawed slavery in spite of Christianity. It wasn't because of Christianity. Nothing in the Bible says you can't have a slave or owning slaves is bad.
Where were the atheist abolition movements in these early times?
Atheists only make up like 3% of the global population, and that's at its highest point now than it's ever been. So there wasn't hardly any atheists around to do anything back then.
Well, there were atheists back then, like David Hume.
There were atheists,
Voltaire,
but they made up a very, very small portion of the population.
and they were very pro-slavery. So it wasn't
Name one. Name an atheist who was pro-slavery.
I just did. David Hume or Voltaire were two popular atheist thinkers that
You
were
think Voltaire was pro-slavery?
Absolutely, and very anti-black.
He's the one who said if they can get you to believe absurdities, they can get you to commit atrocities.
He did say that. And you think that's only under a religious guise?
Let's see. I've read Voltaire. I don't remember anything about him endorsing slavery. Maybe he did, I don't know. But I've read quite a lot of Voltaire, and I never heard such a thing.
So the first prominent person you're going to read that's an abolitionist in Europe, well, like in modernity, because we had people like Gregory of Nyssa who wrote a scathing letter against...
No, Voltaire condemned slavery and its cruelty in his writings, advocated for human rights.
No, he did not.
Ouch. I literally just pulled up the AI on it.
What did you pull it up on?
I googled, did Voltaire endorse slavery? And the answer said no. He condemned slavery and its cruelty in his writings, advocated for human rights.
So he condemned slavery.
So where'd you get that
against
information? Because what I just googled said the exact opposite of what you said.
He was against non-race-based slave trading. So he was okay.
Okay,
with the
so
slave
where does it say in any Christian doctrine in the Bible that you shouldn't own slaves?
So the first mention you're going to hear is going to be it's going to be a mixture of two things. I think Jesus, like in Matthew 19, where he says that the reason that Moses allowed you to divorce is because your hearts were hard, and that's not how God intended it from the beginning. I think this is going to be for the entirety of a lot of the difficult Mosaic law. It's not the intended.
No, Jesus came directly against the Mosaic law. He literally said, "You have heard it said, eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth, but I say unto you, love your enemies." He broke the Sabbath day commandments. He sat there, and Paul even
What
said,
did he say about the Sabbath?
He said that man had control over the Sabbath day. He's literally saying that if an animal falls into a pit on the Sabbath day, you don't sit there and allow them just to go through that harm or that hurt. You get your ass out there and you help them, because he's trying to sit there and say every single day is the same. There's nothing new. There's nothing different. There's not a better day than another. All right? Everyone is the same. Everyone bleeds the same. God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Religion is a bunch of bullshit. And all it really comes down to is community, to love people, to accept people for who they are. Once that happens, we will live in a much better world. It doesn't matter.
I don't think you really mean that, but
and none of that got you out of God commanding grape and baby bashing in Isaiah 13 either, by the way.
Well, my whole point is to say, like, I think you have, like I've already said, you're positing a cynicism that you don't need to. It's unnecessary.
It literally says, I am commanding them to do this.
He says, I'm commanding them. This is a command from Isaiah. It's not directly from God. We're not Quranists here.
What is a prophecy? Who are prophets talking for when they say, I myself?
They're talking from a God-breathed prophecy. But I'm not sure.
So God is breathing this prophecy to them, right?
Correct. Through their human
Okay, so God
nature.
is saying this stuff himself through the prophet Isaiah. So he's still commanding this to happen. He's just speaking through Isaiah. You realize that, right? This is a proclamation. He makes a bunch of these in the Old Testament.
Yes, I understand that. And I think prophecies are intentionally cryptic. But anyways.
What's it cryptic for?
Well, there's two reasons, I think, personally. I agree with Michael Heiser. I think that likely God is cryptic in his prophecies in order to kind of, not allow Satan to exactly interpret what's going to happen. Like, if that's the case, right? And I know you don't think Jesus fulfilled messianic prophecy. But let's say like there was some that came through that Jesus was going to fulfill. If Satan could just predict what was going to happen directly from the prophecy, it would be too easy, and he could thwart that from happening.
Michael
God forbid
Heiser.
make it too easy on Satan.
1 minute. Michael Heiser is a joke. All right. First and foremost, he said it was okay to unalive people in the Old Testament because they were of a Nephilim hybrid genetic bloodline. All right. So the very fact that we try to use Michael Heiser to justify genocide.
That's not what I said.
Well, that's exactly what Heiser brings up. All right. So the very fact
so if
that
I agree with him on one thing, I agree with him on all things. That doesn't follow.
Well, let's put it this way. You obviously agree that the
about.
genocide in the Old Testament was okay. So there's a reasoning behind you saying that. By the way, Satan had nothing to do in the New Testament with an idea of a fictitious entity. Satan meant adversary. The adversary to the Christians was the law of Moses. This is why they came directly against the law of Moses. By the way, everything ended in the first century church. There's no prophecies or anything happening today. Paul tells you in Romans 16:20 that the God of peace shall crush Satan under his feet shortly. He's talking about the law of Moses. He's talking about that who were opposing the Christians by using Moses to justify means to genocide people. All right?
So
And
when Jesus
either
said
way, the
that
proclamations against the nations come from God, not from Satan. So Satan don't even belong in these prophecies. This is God commanding the proclamations of the nations.
Exactly.
Well, I think you're missing what I was saying here. I'm just saying that I don't think prophecies are straightforward. That's why I never make the argument for messianic
Well, what's
prophecy.
not straightforward about this? He's commanding stuff to happen. It happens, and he literally says, everything I have pronounced against you, I'm about to bring forth and make it happen.
No, he
literally
doesn't
says that
say
several
what you
times.
just said.
How
He
much
says
you want to bet?
what the
How much you
we
wanna bet?
just read through the verse.
How much money you got?
Well, let's see. I'm not willing to wager over TikTok. Not money. But
I got-
anyways,
You want to bet souls?
I got something else for you. Hey, Jesse, can you pull up Hebrews 2:14, please? Hebrews 2:14. I want to show you something here, and I want you to go ahead and read this out loud, and then I want to ask truth over whatever.
Hold on, guys. We're arguing. The host is asking me about Isaiah 13, and this guy Sons is asking me about a different topic.
God says when He says something's going to happen, when He says something's going to happen, He makes it happen. He says everything that I'm prophesying against you, I'm about to bring to pass. Like He says this in the proclamations.
Yeah, I wager
Thus says the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, I am now bringing
we're-
upon this city and all its towns all the disasters that I have pronounced against it. Seems pretty straightforward. He's pronouncing disaster against it, and then He makes it happen.
So in verse 3, I've commanded my consecrated ones. I've also called for my warriors who boast in my eminence to execute my anger. A sound of a roar of the lions, like that of many people, sound of an uproar to the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of armies is mustering the army for battle. They are coming from a distant country, from the farthest horizons, the Lord and weapons of His indignation to destroy the whole land. And then when it says the judgment piece, right? It's going to go down through all the things that we read earlier, verses 6 through 16. And then you see Babylon will fall to the meat.
This is how He's doing it.
But see, this is where the problem is, and I don't think you're thinking this through. That would mean that God is taking the hearts of the Medes and literally manipulating them, determining what they're going to do.
That's exactly what He's doing.
This goes against the narrative of Scripture itself. Scripture itself literally has a free will notion. Why does God give commands then if we have no choice but to obey or not? Like, if we have no choice but to obey or not at certain points, like we're just predetermined.
He literally says He's making this happen. He is using the Medes. He is arming them against them, even though they do not know Him. He's literally saying, I am making them do this.
Dude, God literally tells Samuel to go into the land, unalive all the men, women, children, and the animals. All right?
Or He tells Saul to do that through Samuel.
Well. Anyways, Jesse, can you pull up Hebrews 2:14, please?
But you see the problem here? If we are predetermined,
there's no problem. There's no problem.
Why does God give commands then? Why does God give commands if we have no choice?
It wasn't God. That's the entire point. It was Moses. It was the people, the leadership of Israel. Moses never existed. All right? Yahweh never existed. The leadership of Israel was giving a governmental system to go around and slaughter people because they didn't agree with them. That's the entire point. So when Jesus comes along, He tells them they're all sorts of fucked up.
Okay, so you think
your father is the devil. All right.
You think that they were like someone like Philo of Alexandria, right? A very smart Jewish philosopher, never had any problem with this. Why would he not bring this up, or any of the other Jewish philosophers or Christian philosophers until the 17th century? Calvinists.
Because Philo of Alexandria was an esotericist. All right. If you read his works, he talks about how all this is an internal battle between the spiritual realm.
That's a Platonist view. Yes.
That's exactly what he had. But these people...
Maybe the guy should have just read it where God's literally commanding the proclamations against the nations. Like, it's not... There's no mystery here. There's no cryptic codes. Like, God is prophesying the proclamations against the nations. It's straightforward. He even says in chapter 45 of Isaiah, it says, I am the Lord and there is no other. Besides me, there is no God. I arm you, though you did not know me. So He's literally saying He is the one arming them, even though they don't know who Yahweh is.
Right. Can you read Hebrews 2:14, Jesse?
Oh, yeah. Let's grab that real quick. I'm going to have to run in a minute. But
I
it says, since therefore the children share flesh and blood, He Himself likewise shared the same things, so that through death He might destroy the one who has power of death, that is, the devil.
So who was doing all the unalignment in the Old Testament according to the New Testament? It was the one who held the power of death. The power of death was held by a completely different law and covenant than what Jesus came to bring. That's the entire point of what's going on here. So the very fact that you can try to justify that the God of the Old Testament was sovereign, moral in His will and everything goes to show your lack of understanding and comprehension of the Scriptures. That's all.
No, I just have a consistent moral framework. I would take a theistic natural
but
law.
you don't understand words. Like when
I
it
do
says
understand
I have
words.
commanded this, you're saying it doesn't mean he commanded it.
No,
That's
that's not what
exactly
I'm
what it's
saying.
saying.
That's
It
not
is
what I'm
what you're
saying.
saying. It is
No,
what
what
you're
I'm saying
saying.
is God is not going and putting like a control mechanism inside the hearts
Is
of the
God
Medes and
commanding
making
this
them
stuff to
invade
happen or
Babylon.
not? Is he commanding this stuff to happen or not?
What do you mean commanding this stuff to happen?
I myself have commanded my consecrated ones to execute my anger. So is God
Yes.
commanding them to execute his anger?
I think what God is saying in an anthropomorphic manner is God is saying he's going to allow judgment to reign. He's not going to protect Babylon from the Medes because they disobeyed. It's that I think
Would they
that's
disobey?
so this is the prediction of this happens in Daniel, right? When the Medes come and take over Babylon,
No.
Darius, right?
This is religious leaders commanding this. This isn't God doing this. They tried to create a fictitious entity saying that their God told them to do this, sparking fear into the people, and they take control over the matter, and they set up a governmental power system of control where you have to do animal sacrifice. They literally brainwashed all the people. That's what they did. All right? Truth over whatever your name is. I don't think you should have a TikTok channel. I really don't think you should be teaching at all. Because
I don't teach.
Well, whatever the case may be, as it is, you don't.
It sounds like you're a fascist and you don't want other people to talk that disagree.
I'm a fascist. You are completely okay with people being genocided. What more is there to talk about?
I'm not sure when I ever said that. You said that. I didn't say
You
that.
justify the actions of the God of the Old Testament when he declares that these people are supposed to go into lands and wipe them out. How is this immoral, morally correct?
If this leads, we don't agree on what moral and immoral means. That's what makes this conversation difficult. I think that if God knows,
we think genocide's bad, and you think it's okay.
No, I don't think it's okay.
Doing it.
I don't think you think it's bad. Like, okay, let me ask you this: are you for or against abortion? You think it's immoral or moral?
According to God in the Old Testament, it's just fine.
No, you.
What?
Do you think that abortion is morally permissible?
But look, this ain't no channel for abortion debates, man. Like, if you want to make
but
a
I'm
moral
just asking
case and try to say morals
it's not
are
an abortion
objective or
debate.
something, then you can
This is not an
demonstrate
abortion
that.
debate. I'm showing the inconsistency. I'm showing the inconsistency in your position.
You're gaslighting
No,
and you're
if you
moving the
think I have
goalposts.
an inconsistency, you can just tell me what it is without going
If you
into
think
whether I
abortion is morally
okay.
permissible,
I don't
then
even have a
you-
stance on abortion. It's not here nor there for this.
well, you
And
would,
God allows abortion either way in the Old Testament, so you're
God
about
does
to
not
lose that
allow
argument one
abortion.
way or another. Numbers
God does
5,
not
he
allow
absolutely does.
So
Numbers
that is
5,
a
he
process
absolutely
to
does.
see if somebody
It's
was
the test of the
an
bitter waters
adulteress,
and an
right?
unfaithful wife. It literally says in some translations their womb will discharge or miscarry. Like, it's literally an abortion.
Miscarry. Yes. What? So where
Not
is
to mention, in this very chapter we've been reading right here, God is ordering that pregnant women be thrust through with a sword, and babies dashed to pieces. So you're the one that's going to lose this argument.
No, because I'm against abortion, and God literally
Are you
says,
against babies being bashed to pieces and women
yes,
raped?
absolutely.
Then why aren't you against God?
So I would be against God doing this, but I don't have the moral threshold to say that God is wrong here because I'm not
If
omniscient.
you think this stuff is bad, you do have the moral threshold.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're missing what I'm trying to say here. If God's ultimate outcome, like the best outcome for everyone, is to spend eternity in paradise, right, in heaven. I understand you may not think heaven
Except for the
exists,
babies
but
he bashed to pieces, yeah.
even if we look at this in the most amount of cynicism, which I don't agree with, but even if we did, if the most amount of people are in the kingdom of God, that is the best possible outcome.
Hell's not real, dude. Even if you're going that route where you're going to say that some people are going to go to a place of eternal torment, it's not real. It's a fictitious place. It was never something that they believed in. By the way, Jesus never told you you're going to heaven. He said the kingdom of heaven dwells within you. He never talked about anything in the afterlife. I hate to break it to you, man. That's just the way it goes.
Yes, he did.
Scriptures.
The kingdom of God is coming.
Within you. It says it's within you.
Whether heaven is a state or a place is irrelevant.
No, it's very relevant because you just sat there and tried to justify the action that someone's genocided, that In the future, it might be better that
I think
this
you're just
happens,
moral
so there's more people
grandstanding.
that go to heaven.
You're making an argument
That's
from
what you're
emotion.
doing, and you're
No.
doing it in the name of a God that allows abortion and straight up has pregnant women
He
run
doesn't
through with a
allow.
sword.
You've
He
not shown me a
orders
verse where
it
it says,
done.
I condone. Where does God say, I promote and I.
He is making it happen. If he was against it, he would not make it happen, would he?
Abortions are the voluntary termination of a pregnancy by the mother. Where is that condoned in Scripture?
Numbers 5. And here he's
That's
straight
not
up
the
unaliving
woman going
infants
in and
by
saying,
having
I
them
would like
bashed
to
to
terminate
pieces,
my
and he is
pregnancy.
having pregnant women run through with bows and arrows and swords.
Pregnant women being.
You don't have a moral high ground here with this book. You're better than the book. You just hadn't realized that yet.
The Bible
This
is
God
not
is
my
evil,
moral
and this is
framework.
evil, and you can't justify this stuff.
The Bible is not my moral framework.
It's better just to burn the book at this point. More people would live based off of their intuition, that they would love other people. We wouldn't get caught up in religious understanding and mindsets where we think that some guy died on a cross in order to save us from our sin. All right? By the way, Jesus didn't shed his blood to save you at all. All right? No one's going to a place called hell. That's not what any of this is talking about. That's all Christian propaganda and BS. You don't have to believe any of this. All you have to do is just treat people the same as you want to be treated. That's all it comes down to. And genocide is not a part of the deal either. All right?
So, I'm not saying.
Right, I'm getting
hold on a
off here,
second.
Jesse. Be blessed, man.
Oh, have a good one, buddy.
All right, Jesse. Take it easy. Truth.
Peace, man.
Just
what?
Oh, shit. I cut him off. My bad. I thought he was done talking. I was pouring some water.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I was filling up my tea kettle. Anyways, I was going to respond to what he had said, but he left off. But anyways, my whole point, like I've been trying to get at, is the term to say that God is unjust, despite these things looking bad in the Old Testament. I think you don't have to read them with this unnecessary cynicism. And I think that when we try to
It's not unnecessary. It's what it says. It's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
it's
what
very
it says,
because it's what the text is saying.
Why have people fought for thousands of years over what Scripture means?
Because it's a powerful thing. You can control people with this, especially when the vast majority of people in the population couldn't even read the book back then. But now, big swaths of populations are literate, and we can read the book. And coincidentally, the numbers of Christianity have been dropping for nearly a century.
Well, for a little bit, but that's more of because of, like I was saying earlier, there's a lot of, there's been a secular growth since the Enlightenment, particularly after like Darwin. And then as
That's
Nietzsche
because
and
people
other,
are wising up. They know this shit's not good.
but so are you an
Turns
atheist?
out we can move out of the Bronze Age and learn stuff from it. We don't have to go back though.
Well, you don't have to be
I'm just
in the
an
Bronze
atheist.
Age
I was
to
a
be
Christian
religious.
until I was almost 30.
Okay, so like atheism itself, I think is already, it's like a very untenable position. You have to accept a lot of things that I just find hard to swallow, and I think theism just explains
The
reality.
only thing atheist means is you don't believe in gods.
Yeah, but if there's no God, then that there are implications to that. There is a position you have to affirm when you say there's no God, right? So you have to affirm that all of reality is at best explained by chance.
No, you don't.
So what's the other option?
I don't know. Not that one.
So a brute fact is usually
Why
what
does it have to be
philosophers
chance?
say.
What does chance even mean? What are you talking about? How can an eternal universe be here by chance?
Even if the universe is eternal, right? Which I don't agree with, but let's say it is for the sake of argument. You still have to say, how did life come about under a naturalistic universe?
Abiogenesis.
Why would we expect that to happen?
Because there's actual evidence for it. And there's zero for a guy breathing on clay and a human popping out.
So when you say there's evidence of abiogenesis, we have not done that in the lab. I hope you know that.
I hope you know we have. Maybe you should actually study it a little bit.
Oh, I've studied it quite well. What experiment are you referring to?
Don't sound like it.
What paper are you referring to or experiment?
Let me think of what was his name. can't remember the guy's last name.
There's the Miller-Urey
He
experiment.
replicated. Either way, well, that was in the 50s. I'm talking about something way more recent than that. Like they made synthetic single cells out of on a clay tablet, made viable RNA or whatever.
See, what they may have made RNA.
Either way, I'm not even like, you just read a book on that. You know what I'm saying? But either way, there's evidence for abiogenesis. Even just Geller experiment alone is more evidence. Yeah. Well, there's more evidence alone for life than there is for magical deities. So, I mean, alone, since 1950, has destroyed that premise.
So,
either way, I'm about to have to jump off, but I'm not there's actual physicists and people who talk about that all the time who can explain it all better than I can and remember people's names too. Dang it, I wish I could remember that one guy. It's right on the tip of my tongue though. The one who actually did the clay experiment. But anyway, buddy, I appreciate you coming up, but I'm about to have to shut the live down and go work for a living.
So, yeah, I'm on a break here, so I guess I can get back to work too. But anyways,
so either way, no evidence at all for magical deities. Plenty of evidence for natural stuff.
Well, I would say there's lots of evidence for theism, but I'll leave you with this. Let me leave you with this then, since you have to go. If we are to do, are you familiar with Bayes' theorem?
No.
Okay, so really quickly, Bayesian probability is a form of probability. There's two popular forms of probability. Frequentism, you flip a coin 10 times, 3 times heads, 7 times tails. Frequentism says that the 11th time you flip a coin, it's going to be tails based off of the frequent counting, right? The 7 tails, 3 heads. Then there's Bayes' probability, where we don't have conditionals, or we don't have other things we can use, or like a counting mechanism where we can use, right, in order to make a determination. We instead find explanations to increase the probability of said comparison. So if we compare between a theistic hypothesis and an atheistic hypothesis for the explanation of life, right?
There's no atheistic hypothesis. That's science. You're going against science, not atheism.
No, science is not incompatible. Even if abiogenesis happened, that's not incompatible.
It's not atheism, was what I'm saying. There's no atheistic framework for science. Like, that's crazy.
It's not about science. So again, we're trailing off.
That's what abiogenesis is. It's science. It's not atheism.
So what I'm saying specifically is the beginning of even like abiogenesis happening is more probable under a theistic hypothesis than an atheistic one.
No, it's not. No,
absolutely.
It's more probable. It's something natural because everything we know of is natural. To say it's magic is the furthest leap out of the universe from anything that's actually probable. Like, you're literally saying Bronze Age magic is more likely than science. Like,
that's not what I'm saying.
It's 2026, man. Let's get over this nonsense and move on to a better tomorrow where we'll use facts and data to get on with life and not Bronze Age myths and novels. But anyway, guys, appreciate you coming up there, buddy. Dr. Josh's book, You Can Learn Ancient Hebrew with Us. It's awesome. It's on Amazon, and you can support the brilliant Dr. Josh and his family by purchasing one of his many books. He literally wrote the book on slavery. You see how that came up today? It was awesome. Today was an awesome stream. I busted 200 viewers for the first time, so it was a pretty momentous day. It was my 75th day in a freaking row doing this. And tomorrow, unless something crazy comes up, there will be a day 76. You never know what's going to happen, but we always have an amazing morning show. Again, I'm here every day if you didn't know. I have a YouTube channel that's also Apostate 8. If you don't mind, support me over there as well. Throw me a subscription on my YouTube channel. I put these replays on here every day, so you can go back and watch 600-something hours of content, I imagine, is on there at least right now, if you like the show so far. Also, don't forget, Rocket City Reason Conference, North Alabama, Huntsville, Alabama, coming up this October. You can get your tickets for that on rocketcityreason.com. It's going to be off the chain. Super famous YouTubers and atheist debaters are going to be there. Guys, thank you so much for all the support on this channel so far. It's like, I mean, it was really growing fast before, but now it's really going crazy. Like, every live I do now, I'm getting like almost 50 new followers. Like 3 hours in, there's been nearly 5,000 people who come through. Like, it's crazy. The algorithm is favoring us we're favored in the algorithm because this community is so awesome. You see who's hanging out? The ape clearly rolls in the best of circles, y'all. Guys, everybody, thank you all so much. I appreciate the shit out of you, and we will see you guys tomorrow morning. Christ Before Jesus might be on. Let's raid them. Y'all tell them the ape sent you over there if he's on. Zach Lazar Hoffman might be on. If he's doing one, let's raid him. There should be at least a couple out there. Pinkbeard might be on as well. I didn't think about him. But one of them's there. Wherever we go, let's go find one of them and tell them the ape sent you. Appreciate you guys. Much love.